It is. You horn tootin' or whatever they say. Isn't that what it is? You horn tootin'.
You horn tootin'.
Something like that anyway. So we got to go with the weather first because it's going to be hotter than the sumbitch. It's already hotter than the sumbitch.
It feels like it's radiating. It feels like you're walking to a microwave.
It does.
You're
right.
I love the heat, but I was walking through the parking lot and I was like, whoa, that's pretty hot.
Should I pretend I'm a TV guy?
Of course.
Forecast first alert for today due to near record hot temperatures and heat index values from 105 to 110 this afternoon.
That's a good TV voice.
That very serious voice with my weather delivery.
What do women sound like?
Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing? What's going to get hot? Okay. I'll wear a lighter shirt.
Today's going to be hot, hot, hot with a side of hot.
Oh, God, I've heard that.
Hey, Tom, I'm on the show.
There it is.
That's Bob.
That was you.
Sounds exactly like Bob Sansevier.
It was Bob Sansevier.
That was Tom doing an impression of Bob Sansevier, but it sounds like Bob doing an impression of a lady.
It does.
It does. 1,000%. You couldn't be
Hey,
more
Tom,
right.
how you doing?
God, Sanny. I just talked to his daughter, Sam, the other day. What a great person. You guys know Sam Sansevier?
Yeah, I love her.
She's phenomenal. She's a terrific person. Nothing like her father.
No. But I do love the Sanseviers.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mary especially. Forget Bob. Oh, there's Mary, then there's the kids, and then there's Bob.
I believe that.
Good lineup. Okay, so here's the deal. Excessive heat warning today until 10 p.m. Yesterday's 98-degree high broke the record for the day, and it was also the hottest August temperature. By the way, it broke the record. We broke a record. Yeah, what was it, 97.5 before?
Oh, really?
So now it's 98. It's like less than a degree.
It was, yeah.
I just love it when they do that stuff.
Record-breaking heat.
Indeed. Yesterday's 98-degree high broke the record for the day, and it was also the hottest August temperature since 1988. Yeah, but that's because the KQ Morning Show was so hot it radiated on the entire Earth in 88. Yeah, no.
88.
Oh, God. That was it. What is it, 86? Yeah, it was. It was April 16th, 1986. That was the first day of that show. Mo, definitely. So here's the deal. Sunny, hot, and humid with a high of 98 today. 1 degree hotter than the record, which was set in 1948. A lot of global warming in 48?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying anything about it.
You know what I love about it, though? This is true. In the 1960s, they would show Los Angeles. You couldn't see the city.
Because it was just like...
It was all smoke.
Smog and
Smog and smoke.
all that. I know.
It was.
So dumb. There's a hole in the ozone layer. We're all going to die.
That's right.
That was 1984. You know what?
That's
I've
right.
never heard a syllable uttered about.
That was all we cared about.
Goddamn hole in the ozone layer.
I was like a little kid in Stillwater, convinced that I gotta fix the ozone layer.
You were in Stillwater? Mm-hmm. What'd you do? Commit a crime?
Probably. My mom was housed there after prison. No, we just lived in Stillwater for a little bit. We lived everywhere.
I should get that hall that leads into the visiting area named after me.
I agree.
Because I've walked there so many times visiting high school buddies
there you go.
in prison that they should name it after me.
How many times do you think you went there?
Oh, God, I've been there at least 100 times.
100 times?
Oh, with different people. One guy alone, we went every weekend for 6 months.
My neighbor, Ellen, lovely woman, she was a prison nurse there and wrote a book about it.
Oh, really? We should have her on.
She's great.
I would love to talk to her about that.
Okay, cool.
Because the one thing that's going to happen if you're a guy, and probably a woman in a women's prison, but a guy in the guy's prison, the one thing you'll get a huge laugh out of is even though you're in the visiting room for the prison, there are guards everywhere. Everyone's a tough guy. It's like, come on, whatever. Hey, you know what, pal? I'm going home and you're not. Shut up.
Yeah.
I just, that's the one part about doing that bothered me. Everybody's, like you'd walk by and they'd push their chair back, try to block your way. It's like, oh, whatever.
You're like, you know what? Daddy's going to put you back in handcuffs soon and I'm going to go walk out of here.
Well, why don't you go back to your cell and take her deep from your cellmate like you usually do?
Or poop in front of them. I don't know what's worse.
Or just take a dump, though, exactly. It's interesting, but I will tell you what, I wouldn't say we're friends, but we're definitely acquaintances. The guards up there are the nicest people on earth. There's a woman that runs it. She's about 5, or at the time she did anyway. She's about 5'4", maybe 5'5",
yeah,
something like that. I would not want to fight her. I'm just here to tell you. put your pockets back, because they would hang one pocket out if they're in one gang, and then 2 pockets out in another gang, and that whole deal. And all day she'd go, put your pants pockets back in right now.
Something about that clenched jaw talk. That is,
oh, yeah, she got that.
You don't even put a
She was terrific, no question about it. So, yeah, it's going to be hot today, 98. But then tomorrow, not as bad, 88 tomorrow. Mostly sunny and 88 tomorrow. Then on Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 86. Weekend looks great. Mostly sunny, 77 on Saturday. Mostly sunny and 80 on Sunday. And all the way into Monday and Tuesday, mostly sunny, 82 and 82. So, yeah, once we get through today, 88's not bad. 86 is a lot better. And then that 77 Saturday is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, that's when we'll be at the fair.
Matter of fact, it's well, you can't look at today as an example because it's so incredibly humid today.
Yeah.
So it's sunny and 78, but it's really humid.
I know.
My God.
Brutal, man. I walked out. I was like, did I just step in some soup? Like, why is this air so thick?
It was, man. When I walked out this way, well, because I always put up you put up the garage door and it's your first exposure to the outside. It's like, holy God.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's hot out. But we'll be okay. Twin Cities sets a heat record with a scorcher near. It did not get up to 100 degrees, but it got near 100 degrees. It actually did get up to 99. So it missed it by 1. Mm-hmm. They said.
I kept looking at my watch and it kept saying 99, 99.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Well, it says here 98-degree high, but I think it was 9. My watch said, your and my watch had to be right, and they were wrong.
Yeah, we live so far apart.
Yes, we do at least 4 or 5 blocks. So that'll be good. That's all I have to say to you. What else is going on in there? Would you do me a favor? Mm-hmm. I'll look it up, and you guys look it up. I believe Qatar, the country of Qatar, don't they still have slavery and execution? Last I checked, maybe they don't anymore, but they did very recently. Does anybody know?
I feel like anytime you have to ask that question about a country, the answer is usually yes.
It usually is.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, pin them down to something they don't do anymore. It's Qatar, Qatar.
Yeah.
Which they don't even know how to spell, for Christ's sake. It's not how you spell Qatar.
Right.
Cutter. Get it right. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, it's hard to get.
Though they won't give you the information.
Yeah. They're saying no right now.
Yeah, I see on Wikipedia it said that Qatar.
It's Qatar.
Qatar, okay. Practiced slavery until its abolition in 1952.
Oh, so at 52 they got rid of it. It's 100 years after the United States did. Mm-hmm. Good. How about the murder part of it? When you get executed for being the wrong setup. Now, nobody will ever beat the Hutus and the Tutsis in Africa. They kill one another. They're obviously African. They're black, but they kill one another. You know why the Hutus and the Tutsis kill one another? Because of, I'm not making this up, because of the shape of their nose.
Isn't that so crazy?
Yeah.
You got the Tutsi nose instead of the Hutu nose.
Oh.
Yeah.
They kill people over that.
Not great.
But the reason I brought that up, and I'm not even going to read the story, it's just so ridiculous, but your buddy Ilhan Omar, Ilhan Omar's trip to World Cup, she went to the World Cup. You know who funded it? The Qatar government.
Oh, my God.
What is she doing taking money from the Qatar government to go to the World Cup?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, I mean, why spend her own money? It either comes from our pockets or Qatar's pockets.
You mean that 12 million cash you just got like 2 years ago? You mean that?
God.
It's just disgusting. They don't even hide it anymore.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to go to a country that had slavery 100 years after the United States did. You can't stop bitching about the United States, but you'll take money from a country that kept slavery going for another 100 years, and you don't care. How do we live with people like this? She should be taken and put, here, you go live in some other state, get away from us.
Also, what are their motivations to fund her?
Access to the United States government.
Yeah.
And that's when
exactly
you go,
what it
why
is.
do we even allow that in general? And I know every politician does it. I know every politician takes money from different countries, but it's like, why do we even allow that?
I don't know. Why they get a voice in our government in the United States, I will never understand.
Yeah.
Why we allow the scum that we have running this country.
I don't know.
And a lot of it's in big business, too. There's a lot of scummy bastards in big business.
Yeah.
No question about it.
It also says here on the Star Tribune that she also took a trip to Pakistan last year, which was also funded by its government. I'm just saying, if you're such a big fan of this, why don't you move there? You are more than welcome to leave. She is the one person. I will always give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know what it is about the hypocrisy of this woman. Maybe it's just because she's from here and she's in my backyard. I don't know what it is, but just a hypocrite.
Was she born here? Her parents emigrated here, and then she was born here?
Yeah,
I guess.
I'm not sure exactly on that, but
all I know is that I'm deeply, deeply upset by the fact that she only got $12 million cash.
Poor thing.
It's really too bad.
Yeah.
You know. We allow it. We stand there and we vote for both sides of this. They lie to our faces. They try to make each other look really horrible because that's just part of the baseball game. Well, I'll make you look bad, and then you make me look bad, and then we'll both cash in big when they donate to our campaigns.
I know.
That's all it is. That's all the whole deal is. I mean, the first thing I see on the Star Tribune website this morning is Representative Ilhan Omar's trip to World Cup funded by the Qatar government. How in the hell is that allowed?
I just don't get it. Yeah.
I don't either. Experts, 952-600-2575. Call in if you're an expert. Or, I'd say if Tim Walls is listening, but he's probably not up yet. It's only 10 after 7, so,
Yeah, or if you're Qatar, I got a trip I want to take to Hawaii.
Yep.
Once everything grows back, and I would love it if you guys would fund that, because, man, you're handing out trips.
Did you even believe what he said in front of the people in Maui lost over 1,000 residents, and he's bitch. I almost lost my '67 Corvette.
Who said that?
Biden.
No way.
He said, and I'm not kidding, first of all, it was a small kitchen fire. He made it sound like the whole house went up in flames, a complete lie. He said, I almost lost my wife. No, you didn't. It wasn't even close. And then he said, I almost lost my wife and my '67 Corvette and our cat.
Was he trying to be funny at the end?
No. He was trying to show how he suffered too, just like the people who have lost 1,000 people
on a small island. Like everyone knows everybody.
What is wrong with this country?
We don't, and it's so funny too, because people have this need. It's like, it could be a social experiment to relate when something tragic happens. And sometimes you just have to say, that's really sad. I'm really sorry that happened. Like, it's terrible that happened.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's
but
good.
But people have this obsession to be like, well, I actually also.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, you need to just take a beat. People just want it. And I do think, I get that the president shouldn't have said that, but I do think there's it isn't purposely as terrible as it's sounding. Like in his case, yeah.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, but I'm saying
he always does that.
No, I just mean normal people when they come up. If you're like, oh yeah, my dad died. They're like, oh yeah, well my dad, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. I wasn't asking about you. It's about me. Yeah.
But
for 10 seconds.
Even at that, if you say my dad died too, that's not like, well, I almost lost my Buick.
No, I'm just saying. That's what I was saying. Is that I'm not trying to loop Biden in on this one, but I do think it's human nature to be like, hey, that relatability. My mom loves relating to other people, and
that's fine.
Sometimes I have to be like, Mom, maybe not on this one.
Yeah,
sit this one out.
I had a relative we had kids about the same time, and when my daughter was admitted to the hospital for the 7th time before she was 1 year old, I was sitting in a lobby and I was crying. I was just like, I can't. This is awful. And this person came and sat down and put their arm around me, and I go, I just feel so helpless. I can't help her. And they go, I know how you feel, man. I mean, that first day of kindergarten when we sent off, Johnny I was like, this is not the same thing. It's nowhere near the same thing. Why would you say that?
A hospital, a school.
Bad.
Yeah, it's a race to the bottom. I get it. You're more miserable than me right now. Thank you for pointing that out.
It's such a rough one.
I know.
It takes you. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, I could never admit that you were getting to me that much, or that I'm miserable because of you. I would never even admit that because it would give you joy if I did admit it. Yeah. Why do they? Oh Jesus! Look, the one solid argument that I do have. Yes, we lost 1,000 lives in Maui.
Yeah.
Okay, But the Twins lost yesterday, too.
See?
Relatable.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
Very relatable.
Oh, my God,
You
I
all
know.
bear crosses.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Oh, people are getting worse by the day.
Did you hear that? The guy that was supposed to sound the alarm, the whole thing with that?
Yes, I did.
And so he didn't sound the alarm, Rudy, because he thought people might think it was a tsunami. And then he did
Instead
an
of a
interview
raging
after, and they were like, do you regret not sounding the alarm? He goes, no. And then about 20 minutes later, they're like, this guy does not work for us anymore.
Wow, really? Who?
Well, he did not. He had to do 3 things, and he didn't do any of them.
Yeah.
my God.
It was.
But that's
it's-
people now. People never do what they're supposed to do anymore. Never.
Think about if that would have just saved
Sure.
one person out of 1,000. Like, you
Yes,
think,
ma'am.
like, that's worth it. The whole system's there for that. It's
No,
just
you're right.
made me cry. It was so upsetting.
So once again, and we talk about this a lot. Well, at least I talk about it a lot, I guess. Look at your life and how great a life you have compared to these miserable bastards. Seriously, did you ever think you'd go through a day when you're criticizing the current president for saying the dumbest thing you've ever heard to people who've lost 1,000 residents, and the other guy has to check into prison tomorrow? It's like, what? How did we get here?
Don't be late.
Well, not really prison, but he has to check into the jail system and all
Yeah.
that. I'm assuming they probably won't keep him there until after the court dates.
We should probably make bets. Is he gonna wear something that's like over the top? Is he gonna like not look at the camera? Like, is he gonna lean into it?
You know what I would do? And I'm serious about that. But you know me. I would go find one of those red and black striped jail outfits. I'd wear that. I'd go check in with my jail outfit on.
You would.
I would.
And you would give
Absolutely, I
a
would.
big old angry mug on that picture. You'd be like,
I have never been in jail. Not 1 minute about. I've never been in the back of a cop car, as a matter of fact.
let's see what your photo would look like. Go.
This?
I think you'd be like this. Yeah.
I didn't do it. I'm innocent.
I didn't do it, I say.
I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Oh, there were guys that I went to high school with that come and show you their prison photo. Look at this. This is a good picture of me, don't you? Yeah, that looks great, man.
I'm not doing senior photos this year. You got one.
Yeah, that inmate number really brings out your eyes.
It really does. You're looking really good, man. So look, once again, we got to get away from people, and I'm talking about of all parties, not just the left, not just the right, all of them. We have to get away from these people because all they do is take advantage of us to become multi-millionaires. It's got to stop.
Yeah.
But people keep watching the news, and the news is a big part of this. We've talked about that, and it was proven just a couple of days ago that the news wants you to be miserable. Why do you watch them if they want you to be miserable? Local news doesn't. I watched Channel 5 News this morning. You know, I don't care for Chris Egert, but still.
No.
You know.
Exactly.
No, I don't watch national news much anymore because all it is trying to make me miserable, so I'll watch you more to try to feel better.
There you go.
Makes no sense to me. Don't watch those people. They're disgusting. And I've met most of them. They are some of the phoniest bastards I have ever met. Have you ever met a national news person?
No.
Tom Brokaw was a very nice guy, but what a crabby bastard. He was a very, very crabby guy. Brilliant man. Great anchor, no doubt about it.
Oh, wait. I guess I've met Al Roker and the one who got in big trouble, Matt.
Matt Lauer?
Matt
Yeah.
Lauer.
Well, all he did is have that special button where he could lock the door behind women.
Weird. So weird. How do you, as an engineer, how do you put that in? And
Well,
not go,
yeah.
What are we doing here?
What's this for?
Comedian Pete Lee, who is
I love Pete.
just a gem, isn't he?
Love Pete.
He told this great story about how he grew up in like Janesville or Racine, Wisconsin.
Oh, sure.
And that's where Matt Lauer started out in news.
Okay.
And he interviewed Pete at a skateboard park one day when Pete was like 9 years old, and Pete was on a skateboard and he fell, and Matt Lauer laughed at him. And he kept telling people over the years, he's not what you guys think he is. He laughed at a 9-year-old who fell and got hurt on a skateboard.
Oh, my God.
And people were like, oh, he's Matt Lauer. He's a national treasure. So when all this information came out, Pete was like, vindicated. I told you guys he was a monster. And they're like, you fell on a skateboard. You
I
didn't
know.
touch it.
It
It's a
could have been
difference."
hilarious looking.
Yes.
Like, we don't know. I've laughed at things where I go, oh, I remember when those wheelies were really popular?
Oh, sure.
I watched a kid wipe out trying to get on an escalator at Mall of America. I laughed.
It's funny.
I laughed. It's
Yeah.
just funny.
That's nice.
Hey, you're making
Lost
bad
an arm, but you know.
He's making. No, he was fine.
Yeah.
He was fine.
He was fine. Did I follow up? No.
You know, you can tell somebody's lying when they do that. What you just did.
He was
You didn't say,
fine.
he was fine. He was fine.
Fine.
Relax.
It's fine.
It was just a shoelace caught in the escalator.
He
It's
panicked
fine.
the whole way down. It's fine.
He hasn't slept since. A lot of PTSD. He's fine.
Why would you try to get on an escalator with wheelies? That's what I want to
Yeah,
ask.
I agree. Not the brightest move of all time, but you know that's just me. And so, look, let me be very clear about this again. I think we should wipe the slate clean and start all over because our people on both sides are disgusting.
Agreed. Okay.
It's time. Is there a third party? Can we start a third party? That's what what's his face tried to do. The
Green Party.
unsafe at any speed. What was his name again?
Oh yeah.
What the hell was his name?
I forget.
Oh, that's sad. I can't remember. That's terrible. We've had him on the. You used to have him on the KQ Morning Show all the time. I can't remember.
Ralph Nader.
Ralph
Yeah,
Nader.
sure.
There you
That was
go.
killing me. I'm glad we figured that out before we went to break. So we would have gotten 45 emails.
I was never going to break. That's until we found out.
I love that. I would have never. I've never. Can't
never
make me.
going to
You're right.
break.
I can't.
Let me tell you about another loser.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
Animal
Was
House.
that Animal?
House.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you about another loser.
I feel like that needs to be said as right before I walk into the room.
I do every day.
If let me tell you about another loser, I go,
Another
hey
loser.
everybody.
But you got to pause. Let me tell you about another. He paused.
And
it
then
was
me.
Great.
Ting.
All right, we do have to take that break because I'm getting stared at by Brittany. She's like, "Get to the break, damn it."
You know me, I am all about the schedule.
You are. There's no question about it. We'll be right back just a couple of minutes on MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million MyPillow sold. Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98, and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you'll also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I'm here with Ben Williams, former defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Ben, you were in peak health playing football when you went into kidney failure and needed a transplant. An organ donor saved your life. What do you want people to know?
That's right, Tom. I found out my life was going to have two paths. Either hooked up to a dialysis machine 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for the rest of my life, or receive a kidney transplant. I actually started to lose hope. When I was about to start dialysis, I received a call. My perfect match for a kidney was available. A stranger checked the donor box on their driver's license and saved my life. I actually felt 18 again. Now I want to pay it forward by encouraging others to register. I learned from LifeSource that men register at rates much lower than women. We need more men to check the box at the DMV. When you pass away, that small decision and act can help someone like me.
There are 2,300 people in Minnesota like Ben right now waiting for a life-saving transplant. Make your game plan to be a hero. To learn more, visit lifesource.org. We are back 7:26 now, 26 minutes at 7 o'clock. It is mostly sunny and 79 right now, but it feels like it's almost 100. Doesn't it feel like it's like 97 or something like that?
It feels like it's radiating heat when you step outside.
Yeah. It is very, very true. Okay, I have a quick thing to ask you and then tell you guys. And I try to get my steps in every hour, so I get up and move during the commercial breaks, kind of move around and do all that stuff. Just keep moving. And if I get up in this chair, walk to the front door of this office, take a right, go around the corner, circle back. By the time I get back to the door, I'm 80 steps in, which means by the time I get back to my chair, I'll have my 100 steps in.
Yeah.
Right? Which I always try to achieve that 100-step thing. And it's a perfect deal. But you do have to go out. You go to your right, then you go to your right again, and you disappear when you go to your right that second time around that corner. Over.
Yeah.
Oh, I should add, Rudy, do you know if there's a Suite 350 in here?
I don't know that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't think there is.
I don't think so.
But there was a young kid. He looked like he's about maybe 19 or 20 years old. He's looking for Suite 350. And unfortunate timing. Now, you have to remember, he's in an office building that's got nobody in it except for a few people. It's 7:20 in the morning.
Yeah.
And he and I came to that corner exactly at the same time. That poor kid was like, he's like 19, and there's just...
He's probably like looking for his either an appointment or an interview.
Yeah,
He's
something like
probably
that.
all frazzled.
But he handled it very well. At first, he was like, whoa, you could just tell. But yeah, he's looking for 350, and I tried to help him, but there's 340 I know is right across the hall, but that's as high as I've ever seen it get.
Yeah.
We'll try to help you, sir, but somebody at security will know. They'll know where that is.
Can he just come to his appointment here? Just sit in the lobby? Can you check him for whatever he needs, Rudy? Like psychology appointment? Can you just
that'd be
do
good.
that quick?
Sit him down real quick. Tell me all about when you couldn't find room 350, how did it make you feel?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I was talking to a friend yesterday. Do you know a lot of psychiatrists, psychologists now charge $1,000 an hour?
No.
Holy Christ.
Wow.
So you go once a week, it's 52 G's a year? Really?
That's insane.
$1,000. I'm like, whoa.
You better be fixed after that.
Yeah, I better feel a lot better, man.
Yeah.
I had no idea. It used to be like $100 or something like that.
Yeah, I think 200 was like
200,
the tops that I remember seeing, because when I was going through my big breakup with my daughter's mom, I had seen a therapist, and I remember, luckily I had insurance that covered it, but I remember it was like $200 an hour. Yeah.
It's only 5 times as much now.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, like that's the one thing we beat the drum on is mental health all day, but hey, guess what? You can't afford it.
No.
That's right.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah, they talk about health care, can't afford that. Mental health care, can't afford that.
And a lot of people are doing telehealth too, so you think it would be more affordable.
Mm-hmm. You mean like Zoom meetings? Yeah, those are Zoom meetings I think I'm talking about.
Dang-a-lang.
There's also, in case you guys didn't know this, I know there's a lot of companies that are doing it. They don't really talk about it. It's not out there. But at Hubbard Broadcasting, you can get up to 5 free sessions a year through our HR, through Human Resources. And there's a lot of companies that have that option, but they, for whatever reason, it's not really publicly talked about to their employees for some reason.
What if I walk in the first day and I go, I got to tell you up front, I work with Ginny, Dan, and Amy. Oh, Christ, pal. I've had too much. You'll have to go to see somebody
You're
else.
on your own.
Better bring in some backup.
We're going to need backup. It would be great to have a backup psychiatrist.
And they'd be like, you don't, but like at least you don't work with Rudy and Brittany. You go, I got bad news.
Oh, it's even worse.
It gets worse.
That's all we know. Wouldn't it be great, psychiatrist talking to you, gets so one, and you go, Bill, get in here.
Tags him in like the Road Warriors. Yeah.
I need another, we're going to zoom another person in.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
by
got,
the
like,
way,
5 talking heads on your computer.
very quick aside here. I had to give up on the dark side of the ring.
Oh.
Just too sad. I know all of these guys. It's like, oh my God, another friend died.
Yeah.
That Owen Hart thing, though. I didn't know Owen Hart, but holy Christ.
Yeah, I think that it feels like, I know it's always tragic when a pro wrestler passes away, but that's the one that always comes back to. It didn't have to happen.
Nope.
He was a good guy who people liked, and he was well respected, and he worked hard. He kept his nose clean. He wasn't a drug addict. He wasn't a boozer.
Right.
His family loved him, and just such a tragic event.
How did he die?
Well, they were going to do a thing where he came out of the sky in the arena, you know, the arms sticking out and all that stuff. And for some reason, they didn't use the you know, those little kind of U-shaped hooks.
Yeah.
Clip at the top, those deals. They didn't use an industrial strength one. They used like a packaging one. Now, that's not going to hold up a 260-pound guy.
No.
As soon as they released him, plummeted 100 feet to his death.
In front of everybody?
In front of everybody.
I didn't know.
10 stories he fell.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was at a pay-per-view event.
It
so
was, yeah.
sold out.
Yep.
People, it was awful. Oh, just awful.
At least I'm taking a break. I don't know. I'll probably get back to it, but I got to take a break right now because it's just too sad.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. I would not be able to watch that.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't like it. No, you absolutely would not. And by the way, a little lesson for the youngsters, for all you youngsters, here's the deal. Don't do steroids. They will kill you.
Listen.
Jesus.
Yeah, it seems really like anything that's a strain on your heart, don't do.
Don't do it.
Your heart, I mean, everybody, heart disease is the #1 killer in America. And so
probably,
anything that you push your heart to the limits, just know you're shortening your life expectancy significantly.
If I had done what they asked me to do when I was 19, I'm sure I'd be dead.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah, which is wild because back then it was like, to do this. It was so casual.
Because nobody had died yet, so you didn't know.
No, I mean, there's no long-term
You're right.
studies. There's no long-term effects.
I think Lyle Alzado, was he the first one whose brain swelled to the point that it killed him?
Ugh.
Yeah, those last couple of months, those pictures of him were awful because this dude was a big hulking football player. He had the beard and the mullet, and he was the guy that dudes wanted to be and women wanted to be with. And then those last few months when he's wearing the bandana around to cover up his bald head and he's frail and I was on the fence about steroids when I was like 14, 15 because I was a small guy and I'm a tiny man and somebody was like, if we get in the weight room, we could probably take some steroids. And then they I don't know if you guys remember the poster that they had. It might have been different for the women's locker room, but the male locker room had like a football player and he was standing there with his helmet and a football. And then it pointed to everything that steroids will do to you. Like it showed part of his shoulder pad was off and he had pimples all over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And there was one that pointed to his ball sack and it said shrunken testicles. I'm like, I'm out.
I'm out. Done.
It can't get tinier, so I'm out.
Who knew one of those posters helped someone?
Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time, damn it.
Right? I never hung in there when I saw that cat hanging in there. And here you are learning from the poster. That's
I always love that when you call yourself a little guy. Because as I said, my dearest friend in all of my life was about an inch taller than you, and he could beat the shit out of anybody, you or I know.
Oh.
No such thing as a little guy.
Yeah, there was a
such thing.
Friend of mine in high school is like 6'1", and he got his ass whooped by a dude who was 5'4".
Oh, absolutely.
And
Can I speak just a little bit inappropriately, Rudy?
You're out of the mix.
If you got really muscly, it would make you look insane.
Like crazy? Like what do you mean?
Not good.
Oh, not good.
Yeah.
Oh,
because,
no.
Yeah, like you're perfectly proportioned. I feel like you have muscles, you look like a strong person, but if you started because I know guys in the military, especially if they're short, they're like want to make up for it muscles.
Yeah.
it makes them look shorter because they start looking
I
wider
agree.
than it does.
You're right.
It doesn't look good.
No.
I feel like you are at the perfect spot. Like, you look like you're tough. Don't mess with Rudy. But, like, you don't look like you're compensating before any means, and it's not bringing your height down.
Yeah, also, putting on muscle is hard work.
It is, and expensive.
Not with steroids, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't have that in me anymore. 43, I saw Oscar de la Hoya. There's a new Oscar de la Hoya documentary on Max called The Golden Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fascinating documentary about him. But in it, he talks about how now he's in his upper 40s, and he's obviously put on some weight. But weight that he could probably take off. And they were like, so how come you don't get up anymore and just like try to work out? And he's like, I'm over it. Yeah. All those years of waking up at 4 a.m. and having 2 workouts a day for 4 hours a day and the running, I'm over it. I'm so done. I just want to eat and drink and have fun.
Yeah.
I'm already halfway through my life. I just want to enjoy the back half.
Yep. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
No, there are guys, honestly, God, there was, and it was on that, there's another Vice show about the not only the dark side of the ring, but the dark side of weightlifting and all that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the show. It's not called The Dark Side of, it's something else. There are guys on there, and I'm not, Brittany, I'm not kidding you. You could put Rudy, your, and my chest together, and they still wouldn't be as big as some of these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the muscles are up to they're touching their ears, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God.
I ran into Brock, and when I say ran into, I literally ran into chest first. My head went into his chest, Brock Lesnar, at a Metallica concert one night, and I was eating a piece of pizza, and I turned the corner. It was like back in the suites of Target Center, and I turned the corner, and I literally, it was like hitting a meat wall.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe how big he was.
The meat wall.
And he looked down at me, and he went, hey, I like pizza.
There you
Oh, no.
A good guy.
I'd be like slowly handing it to him.
It's like, here you go, sir.
Please.
I know you're like, 6 years younger than me, but here you go.
Where'd he go? He's gone now, isn't he?
WWE. Still
is he?
Still
Oh,
wrestling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. I didn't know Brock really well. I met him a couple times. A very nice guy. He was hanging out with Jesse for a while there. That's when I ran into him a couple times. But the one thing I love to say about Brock Lesnar, and it happened both times going up the stairs at either the like Target Center or I always forget what the hell's the name of the one in St. Paul again?
XL.
XL Center, exactly. XL Energy. Both times he's walking up the stairs in front of me, and both times he had missed not one but 2 belt loops.
That's
Because his
rough
arms
go.
are so big, he can't get the belt around
It's
him.
just so crazy.
He's going to have to put the belt in before he puts the pants on.
Yeah.
Because he can't get his arm back far enough to put it through the belt loop.
He might need a friend.
Yeah.
He might need some help. I've come in here before and been like, Rudy, will you put this bracelet on me or zip this? Like, sometimes you need a friend. Sometimes you need.
You do, yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, that belt loop thing makes me think he has like little T-Rex arms.
Well, he literally, his muscles are so big he can probably get him back to about here, and that's about
functional. Like, that's not functional for
it's
your
not.
life.
No.
It's not. He is a big fella, though. I will tell you that. And you found that out quickly.
Massive. And it's almost a sad story with Brock Lesnar because for how athletic he is, and like obviously he's a rich guy and he's worked very, very hard. He never really found his footing.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
and don't
that's
get me
true.
wrong. He had the wrestling background, and then he went to the WWE, and then he tried UFC, and then Christ, he even tried out for the Minnesota Vikings and played like three.
That's right.
And played like 3 preseason games. And then went back to UFC, and then decided at some point I'm going back to the WWE. It's just he was kind of this guy who just never really found that thing that he could commit to.
Yeah.
And I feel now he's a little bit older and a little wiser, and he's like probably don't want to travel as much, and he definitely does not like to get punched in the face. Because if you watch those old matches of his, when he fought Alistar, that was the one where he got rocked hard for the first time, and you could see it in him like, this is not what I don't want to do this. Yeah.
I mean, relatable.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't want to get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Does hurt.
Yeah, I think Mike Tyson said everyone's got a game plan until you get punched in the face that first time, and then the game plan goes out the window.
You ever been knocked out?
Yeah.
Me too.
I've never been knocked out. I've been punched plenty of times, but never.
They love hitting me.
Shocking. Did you see me and Tom? What? You?
Really? I didn't see that coming.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Hit a 12-year-old back, Brittany? Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Exactly.
Get on the wheelies.
Precisely, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, but again, it's like, Jesus, it makes me sad to do it. I cannot. I got to take a break from the dark side of the ring because guy after guy after guy, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Then I got together with a couple of friends on Monday and had lunch with them. One of them was involved with the wrestlers. I don't know if he wants me to. His first name is Ken. I will say that. And he trained, owned a bunch of gyms. Very successful guy.
Can I? If I guess it, will you tell me?
Maybe.
Ken Patera.
Oh, Ken Patera. I heard. Well, it's not Ken Patera, but I
Okay.
haven't heard that name in a while. Is he still around?
He is still around.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he is.
That's terrific.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that.
I believe last time I heard he was living in Virginia, Minnesota, but he might be back down this way. I'm not sure, but I saw him at a wrestling event not that long ago.
Has he put any boulders through somebody's window lately?
That I haven't seen, but those were fun days. What he's talking about, Brittany, is he was on like the World's Strongest Man competitions, and he's one of these guys where he'd be like, Magnus for Magnuson and Ken Patera hauling 32-kilo boulders up a hill. It was, they're amazing.
But he, why did he do it? I still don't. They ran out of gas or some damn thing happened, and they couldn't find anybody. Knocked on the door, nobody answered. So apparently he picked up a boulder and threw it through the bay window.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's wild. Yeah. The guy was insane.
He was. I talked to him, never met him. I talked to him a couple of times. Seemed like a very nice guy.
Yeah.
He did indeed.
I mean,
will tell you,
besides throwing a window or throwing a boulder through the window.
there's a thought process in very muscular guys. They can get to a certain point, and then after that, nothing matters. It's like, no, okay, well, it didn't solve it. Then I'm gonna solve it myself.
Yeah.
It's one of those deals.
I know those people.
But some of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet. Couple of nut jobs, there's no question about that. Couple of them are nuts. But most of them are very, very nice people. Really, I mean, Hawk and Animal, you couldn't find two nicer guys.
Yeah.
Unless you pissed them off, then they weren't nice. But I never pissed them off, so that was a good thing. You know what I mean?
I think that was a smart call. That's why you're alive today.
I had a friend, Mike, driving along, and he didn't mean to do it, but he cut Animal off in traffic, right? So Animal's like, pull over, motioning to him to pull over to the side of the road. As Animal's walking up to his car, my friend Mike goes, hey, I'm a good friend of Tom Bernard's. And he goes, good for you. Had no effect whatsoever.
That is not going to cross my crazy right now. That is not going to affect the results that's going to go down.
What a great guy. God, Hawk and Animal, we miss you dearly. There's no question about it. Jesus, when they used to sit in studio, everybody's wearing Zubas, of course.
Yeah.
Everybody had Zubas
So
on.
funny.
I got the story for you here. You were a little off, but close with the boulder thing. So on April 6, 1984, around midnight, Ken Patera went to go get a bite to eat at a McDonald's in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
There you go.
After a wrestling competition. Upon arriving, Patera was informed that the restaurant was closed and denied service. Upset, the former Olympic heavyweight weightlifter threw a 30-pound boulder through the store's front window before leaving the premises.
At McDonald's it was,
Yeah.
huh? I thought it was some
Hilarious.
guy's house.
No.
I love it. He's just pissed off that they're not open, and that's going to help.
What do you mean you're not open, McDonald's?
Yeah, this'll help the situation.
See, that's the kind of thinking I really do miss. I got to be honest with you.
Now imagine you're a McDonald's employee. You make minimum wage. You roll in at 4:30 to open the store by 5, and there's a big old boulder in the lobby.
Yeah, when police officers arrived at his hotel room, he got in a fight with them. They would have let him go, it says, but he ended up doing 2 years in jail.
He did. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember that.
Wow.
I remember he had a big battle with the cops.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I mean, okay, they can't wait, but there's a part of me that's like, if they just would have waited a day to approach this person who threw a boulder. I know that, like, that's not how the police work.
Yeah.
But it's like, this person was raging out of control.
He was.
Probably would have woken up and been like, ooh, hey, Mickey D's, sorry about that boulder thing last night.
And I know that's like not how police work. Like, you can't just be like, I was really upset. We like quit following you, like, because you're so mad. But there are times you just go, maybe if your plan was to just let him go anyways, just send him a big old bill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I hear these things and you go, when sometimes they like keep talking to somebody, you're like, that person is going to make no sense right now. Like, they have hit a point of no return. But I get it. You have to you can't just be like, throw a boulder, we'll send you a bill. Like,
Wasn't me, it was the Hamburglar. I didn't do it.
That goddamn Ronald was looking at me cross-eyed.
He's got those big old feet. I hate that. Doesn't Ronald McDonald, he have the big old clown feet, or doesn't he?
Yeah, the big
does
red,
he? He
yeah,
does?
the
Okay,
big red
good.
shoes and then the big red hair. Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I should do, because Catherine has red hair? I should buy her a huge pair of red shoes. Here, honey.
Yeah,
Merry
but
Christmas.
they better be in her size.
Yeah, they better be, otherwise they'll be somewhere I don't want them to be.
Yeah,
If you know what I'm referring to.
absolutely.
But yeah, it's, again, I had to back off on watching. I'll go back to watching Dark Side of the Ring, but I watched it several days in a row. I was like, I can't watch this right. It made me too sad.
Sure. If you want to watch something wrestling related that is a very happy documentary,
Oh, there you go.
watch a documentary with Mick Foley called I Am Santa.
Oh, yeah, Mick Foley, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good guy.
Great guy. He comes around every now and again.
He does, right?
Yeah, he'll go to the House of Comedy, perform it's not really stand-up. He just tells stories about being on the road and talks about that Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker when they threw him off 20 feet from the top of the cage down to the concrete. Yeah, but that documentary is great because in the wintertime, Mick goes out and plays Santa at various malls and loves Santa and Christmas. It's a really good documentary.
What do you want for Christmas, Brittany? That's Santa talking to you right there.
I do have to say, Eric wrote in saying, is a 30-pound rock really a boulder? And I kind of have to agree with him.
Pardon me, pal.
Yeah, listen, you're not Sisyphus, Patera, okay? You're not pushing that thing up a mountain. The McDonald's is not on the top of the hill, Ken.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
if I can throw it, is it really a boulder? That's a great question.
Well, yeah, okay. What the dimensions of the very first boulder? What would that be?
I
I have no idea.
I don't know.
When's it a rock and when does it become a boulder?
I don't know, but that's a really funny way to look at it. Yeah, but was it really a boulder? Also, I would not say it to that guy.
One thing I will tell you, all those people I've been running into lately, and I've been running into dozens of people that listen to this show now.
Yeah.
They all have a phenomenal sense of humor like that.
It's just super funny.
Is it really a boulder? Really, that's your big concern, is it?
Also, how funny if the cops would have said that. He's like, I'm sorry, I threw a boulder. Well, we're kind of classifying it as a big rock.
It's not really a boulder.
Sir, it's not really a boulder. Maybe you need to hit the gym a little more.
See, that's what life should be like. Have a little fun while you're repairing the window at McDonald's. You know, he's pissed off he can't get some French fries, so he throws a rock through the window.
Only move. Only move.
Okay, so we got the dimensions on how big it has to be for a boulder.
Excellent.
Okay, so a rock fragment with the size that is greater than 25.6 centimeters in diameter. I looked it up. That is almost 10 inches. So if a rock
30-pound boulder is going to be more than that.
As long as it's within, if it's 10 inches in circumference, that is what you can start to call a boulder compared to a rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's got to be, what, about 20 pounds?
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhere in there, I imagine. Sure.
I would imagine, listen, Go-Go's about 25 pounds. I would imagine, yeah, for sure it would be more than, over 10 inches would be over 30 pounds. Or 30 pounds would be over 10 inches, for sure.
I would think so.
All right, it's still a boulder.
It's a boulder, so shut up. Who is that?
Eric.
Eric, shut up, Eric. You heard me. You pill. I'm sure Eric's a wonderful person because he has a sense of humor.
He's very funny.
I always love people with a sense of humor. It works for me. We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Kristyn Burtt will join us in a couple of minutes. I'm so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. They do it every year. Look, you need them, they're there. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first, and that is no BS. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians, not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need, when they need it, and at the fair price. Keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes. On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98 and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. Hi, this is Tommy B. My friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales at their Albertville location off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the Minnesota State Fair. Along with everything you can buy on a stick at the Great Minnesota Sweat Together, you should have some cool incentives with a State Fair deal when you purchase an RV from Niemeyer's Albertville location. How's this sound? Receive a free exterior ceramic coat and NanoCure interior treatment. These coatings provide a durable, long-lasting shield against dirt, water, and UV rays, and basically extend the life of your RV to keep it looking newer and lasting longer. It's a $2,000 value, free with purchase if you get an RV from Niemeyer's by September 5th in Albertville only. Plus great deals on their campers at both Albertville and Elko New Market, now through the end of State Fair. Take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales and see my guys and gals at Niemeyer's and look at what they got at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyers.com, Niemeyers.com. Your State Fair deals end on September 5th. Oh, and tell them Tommy sent you. We are back. We've decided to interview Kristyn Burtt, all three of us, as professional wrestlers.
Yeah, jabroni.
Hey, listen, you jabroni. What do you
Why
think?
do all wrestlers talk like this?
I don't know why. They just happen to have this voice. I don't know why it's true. Why did they start talking like that?
It is. They all talk like that.
They do. You don't think it can't be steroids, though? Well, maybe it can.
There had to be some sort of like, I don't know what you want to call it, focus group with kids.
Yes.
Like, what do you want to hear?
Yep.
Like, when Captain Lou Albano would step out with the rubber bands, he couldn't be like, hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey!
Yeah. He needed to have that gravelly voice. Although the only one who got away with it was Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer.
Yeah,
oh, my God.
Oh, my Undertaker.
Oh, you got the Undertaker voice.
Yeah.
I've been seeing, I mean, I didn't watch wrestling growing up, but I've been watching random clips because I guess TikTok's like, hey, I think you'd like this. And I read them and I'm like, I guess I do.
Yeah.
But it always weirds me out when they're like doing like a 40-minute monologue an inch from their face. And I'm always
Crusher.
I'm always like, just kiss. Just kiss. Because they're like, I've traveled far and wide and far. And they make these long monologues. And I'm always like, just kiss.
What are those plastic things that look like a surfboard, only they're about 4 inches deep, and they're, I think, for sun tanning or, you know what I'm talking about? They
put them to,
they look like a surfboard, only they're about 4 inches deep, and I think they put water in them, and then you lay in them, and it helps you to it keeps your skin moist while you're sun tanning or something.
Oh. It's like
I've never heard of that.
Bathing pool.
They might use them for some other stuff, too, but the only reason I bring them up is the Crusher when I was a kid. The Crusher was my favorite wrestler of all time. He was just amazing. He comes out and he's got a 28-ounce framing hammer, those huge hammers that carpenters use.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the sunbathing deal in one hand, under one arm, and he's got the 28-ounce framing hammer in his right hand. And he's talking to Marty O'Neill, and he goes, Marty, right after the show today, I've already made an appointment. I got my boat with me. So the sun tanning thing is his boat, okay, which is going to sink immediately when he gets in it.
Stupid props they grab on the way out
greatest.
the door.
But he says, I'm going to get in my boat. I'm going to go to my favorite fishing spot on Lake Minnetonka. You remember it's Lake Minnetonka, of course. Lake Minnetonka. Only I know about this special place. I'm going to lean over, do my secret fish call, and when they come to the surface, I'm going to hit them over the head with my framing hammer.
It's like a bet.
Yeah.
They like got two
It's
items
phenomenal.
and they're like, I bet you can't make a whole speech about this. And they're like, bet taken.
That's
Watch
exactly.
me.
That's
Hold
exactly.
my beer.
Yes.
Well, that's exactly what happened with the famous Randy Macho Man. The cream always rises to the top because
Yeah,
somebody
that
went
stupid little,
here's a half and half container that you'd get at like a Perkins. You go out there and talk about it. He's like, ooh, the cream always rises to the top.
1,000%.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Somebody handed that
Yeah.
and said, do this.
And then he takes a second one out of his hand like a magician. He's like, told you.
Told you.
It's so stupid. Like, If they didn't have muscles, we'd be like, okay, get off our screen. It's so stupid.
That's why I loved it so much and thought it was so funny, because it was so incredibly ignorant
I
and
know.
stupid
The
that it was fun.
rants, it's
I
very
want them
funny.
to resurrect that album they did in the 80s where they all had their own theme song.
Oh,
that they
yeah.
sang. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's about
That was
time.
actually a big hit, too.
Oh, was it really?
Yes. Like, it made the charts. Like,
Yeah.
you would hear it on the radio.
The Novas, a local band from Minnesota called the Novas, did a song called The Crusher.
Oh, we've played it.
Do the hammer lock. Hooray! Because he used to growl. Crusher used to
Sure.
growl all the time.
Of course he
Yeah.
did. Of course he did.
Well, I got to believe that, now you lived in Massachusetts, but not in Boston, correct?
Correct.
Did they have a lot, because here, wrestling was huge. Professional wrestling, was it that big in Massachusetts?
It was. My brother was a huge fan. He had the wrestling ring, and
Oh!
I'm gonna call them dolls, but they had the action figures that were like this big,
Of course.
and you could, wrestle with them. And he also had the album, by the way. That's why I know it
Yeah.
so well. But it was just very funny because when I did go work with Jesse Ventura,
All right.
I just I kept on trying to ask him questions about his WWE era, because that was WWE at the time. And, because he was a wrestler with a pink feather boa around his neck.
Right.
And he
Yep.
didn't want to talk about it. He wanted to talk about his Navy SEAL era, and he wanted to talk about his political era. So, I mean, I listened, but anytime I asked a question, he would circle back to something else.
God, Jesse used to get pissed off at me because Jesse and I used to be pretty good friends back in the day. And then it all fell apart. But he even when we were good friends, he got pissed off at me because he'd go, when I was a Navy SEAL, which he never was. He was in underwater demolition, which became part of the Navy SEAls. He
I
was
got
in
those
UDT.
speeches too. We would sit in the makeup chair. When I was a Navy SEAL, I used to pee in my uniform. It kept us warm.
Also, I don't feel like you have to do that.
Yeah,
as somebody who's
probably
been in the
not.
military, and you could just, especially if you have a penis, you can go ahead and
Sure.
circumvent that uniform quick.
I used to pee in my uniform all the time.
Same.
Keep
But
us warm in the water as a Navy SEAL.
I was supporting my co-workers. Yeah, okay, settle down. Now, he, honest to God, he would get so mad at me. And I was just kidding, for Christ's sake. He goes, when I was a Navy SEAL over in Subic Bay, it was unbelievable. I said, when you folded the towels? You mean that part? God, he did not take that well at all. It's like, I'm kidding, for Christ's sake, you big baby. I still have a soft...
Legit, Tom, legit though, when I was a Navy SEAL is his opening remarks all the time.
Always.
Always.
It's true. And by the way, I got to admit it. Most people would not admit this, but I will admit it. I still have a soft spot in my heart for Jesse because he and I and our families, well, his daughter, Jade, used to babysit for our kids all the time. I mean, we were very, very close. They're not the best of friends, but really close, neighbor friends, that kind of deal. So I do miss hanging out with Jesse. He was a lot of fun to hang out with, but it's just, I guess, too much water over the dam,
Sure.
It happens.
What are you going to do? I'm
But
sick
it was
of
a
you.
good moment in
you know.
time. That's what you remember.
No, it is. You're absolutely right about that. I mean, I do remember when he's working for Hubbard and he got fired. He was on 1500 KSTP doing the morning show, and I think he got fired. And I was playing in a charity golf tournament, and he drove all the way out there so he could come and talk to me and walk along with me on a golf course and tell me he had just been fired. That's how close of friends we were. I kind of miss that. That there's a part of Jesse that's very interesting, and there's another part that's annoying as a son of a bitch. So he's just one of those
There
guys.
is a soft side to him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
does not
Oh, yeah.
like to show it.
Yep.
He was very good to me. He was not great to the segment producers on the show.
What do you
and I was
mean?
shielded. I was shielded from a lot of the strife that was going on set.
I
but
love
I
your
was very
wrestler
protected
voice.
from it.
I
Because
love
I was the only female other than the makeup artist on set.
Oh, yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
it was a boys' club.
What was the show, Kristyn?
I worked as his newsreader for his MSNBC show.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And there were 3 different versions. So I think I was on version 2. And then the last version was just him alone. But it was a wild time. And and originally they were supposed to film it in Los Angeles. I was living in Minnesota. I got hired. I was a last minute ad, but they brought in because he decided to film it in Minneapolis, or St. Paul, I should say, they had to fly in the entire crew every single week. So they were living in Minneapolis Monday through Friday and then flying home for the weekend. It became a very expensive show because of that switch.
Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it. What was the name of the show? I Was a Navy SEAL.
The Arena with Jesse Ventura.
He had all kinds of TV shows there for a while. But the Supernatural, what was that one called? What the hell was that? Remember he would do the supernatural stuff and all that scary stuff. What the hell was the name of that show again? I used to watch it all the time, as a matter of fact. But what are you going to do? Yet another guy come and gone in my life. What can one say? Such is life.
It makes for good stories. That's how I feel about that period of time working with him.
Kristyn, I need your help because I've been searching for 2 days now. We only have 2 more episodes of Fisk from Australia to watch. And I know there's a second and third season, and it keeps insisting it's on Netflix, but it's not. The first season is on Netflix.
It's just that one season only.
Yeah. So what the hell? I got to track down season 2 and season 3. That Kitty Flanagan is phenomenal in that show.
I know, because you're going to be left hanging, and then it's going to be a year from now, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, I still need to see season 2 and 3.
Yep.
And you'll have to go back and watch season 1.
Probably true. Honestly, well, everybody in it's really good, but she is a superstar. No doubt about it. No question. So I need season 2 and season 3. So if somebody can find it for me, I'll even watch it on a disc if I have to.
We'll track it down for you and see if we can find it.
Who's better than you?
You'll even watch it on a DVD.
Exactly. I'll even watch it on a DVD if I have.
You can still have a DVD player. A lot of people don't.
Oh, I think there's still one somewhere in the house I could plug back in, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not. You might be right. Maybe we don't even have one anymore. I know I've got about 6,000.
They used to give our screeners on DVDs, and occasionally I'll get one. So I just have kind of like kept it as a relic of days gone by. But
yeah.
I can't tell you the last time I've used it.
Yeah, all those discs that I bought over the years, and there are hundreds of them, right, over the DVD years. Those are all on streaming now. If I had waited, I wouldn't have had to spend a dime.
But a lot of them are honestly worth something because certain versions of movies sometimes aren't available. And if you have that version on DVD, it can be worth a lot of money. Or if they pull a title and we haven't seen it for a few years, like anyone that has, Moonlighting on DVD, they're sitting on gold because the music rights are so expensive. That's why it hasn't wound up on streaming. And they're trying to find a way to make its way there. But that's why people are like, I really want to see Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis again. Like, nobody had better chemistry than the two of them in that series.
Explain to me why it is that I'm the kind of person I have Godfather 1, 2, and 3 on disc. And then as soon as streaming started, I bought it again. Why would I do that?
I don't know.
I mean, I look back at the things that I've done over the years. Like, why do you own it on? I probably have somewhere on. I don't think I have tapes anymore. I used to back in the day when everything was on VHS tapes. But I don't know why I did that. I have it on disc already, which is going to last forever. But then I bought it on streaming too. That's
you
stupid.
buy a lot on streaming, which I find interesting.
Yes.
I never buy anything on streaming.
Oh, you don't?
Because because I have plenty of channels to like peruse through. So I always feel like I'm like, why would I spend extra? Do you guys, like Britt or Rudy, do you guys buy movies?
No, so I have in the past. I have no idea where they are. Like, I think I've bought when Apple first came out, I bought some stuff on there. But no, I would never buy also something on streaming. Right now we're in a weird situation where we're actually collecting DVDs because we bought a car that has a DVD player. So now we're trying to buy kiddo movies at garage sales.
There you go.
Sure.
But no, I'm not an owner of.
No, for whatever reason, my family up at our cabin still has VHS cassettes. Nobody's owned a VCR in 17 years.
I know.
But we have like Sea of Love, Braveheart.
Yeah.
We have the original Star Wars trilogy on VHS
just in case you need it.
Why do we need this?
Do you have
My
a VHS
God.
player at least at the cabin?
No.
Really?
No, they just sit there. I don't know. I don't
Well,
get
the tapes
it.
probably aren't good either. They're probably warped over time.
Yeah,
They
but
just start to disintegrate.
Much like your sense of humor. Thank you very much.
Yeah, or like my family's ability to not be hoarders. I don't know
Yeah,
why
there
we
you go.
have any of this stuff. It drives me insane.
I
If you have a
understand.
couple of Disney titles on VHS, though, they're worth a lot of money.
My grandmother had, like in the plastic case, yeah, my grandmother had those, and we've been looking for them to see if we can find them because, yes, they are worth some money. But, Britt, we do have like a ton of Disney DVDs at the cabin.
I will buy the heck out of those from you.
I'll grab them next time. I'm going to mark them up like 3 times what they're worth. But I'm telling you right now.
Absolutely.
We'll wheel and deal.
The friends and family discount.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be awesome because we definitely have been. I go to garage sales all the time just for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Disney title that's worth the most is "Song of the South" because
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously they pulled that.
Zippity-yay. I love it when he sings that song.
yeah,
I
But
do
Disney
indeed.
does not want you to see it.
Why not? Was it racist
Yeah,
now or
there's
something?
some
Yeah, there's a
racist
lot of racist
overtones in it, yeah.
Are there really?
Yeah,
Against white people? Typical. I'm sick of being beaten on by the man.
it's why they even changed Splash Mountain. They're changing it to Tiana in both the Orlando and Anaheim parks.
Why?
So they're changing the theme because Song of the South has racist undertones. And the fact that they made it a ride in the first place while they had already pulled the title
Well,
from
exactly.
purchase,
Why would they do that?
they shouldn't have done it in the first place. Let's just put it that way.
I did like Zippity Doo-Dah, though. I thought it was a good song.
It is a good song.
You did a nice job belting it out. I've never seen. Is it a movie? Is it a show? What is it?
It's a movie. It's an
It is a
animated.
movie.
Well, it's kind of like a live action, actually, because Uncle Remus tells stories of songs of the South. So there's singing, there's animation in it. I saw it as a kid.
Yeah.
I have like a brief like recollection of some of it, like some of the scenes. I'm like, oh yeah. But
In my mind, I get it confused a little bit with Mary Poppins because they did the same thing with Mary Poppins where they would use live action and then animation around
Right,
them.
right.
So I kind of blend those two together.
it's Brer Rabbit is like the big like animated like central character in Song of the South.
So what's the racist part of it? I've never seen it, so I don't know.
I think there's a song that they really were honing in on a couple of, like about 6 months ago, where they said there was a song in it where there's a couple things that are mentioned, and in the song, it doesn't. It's kind of it just doesn't look good. It's not
Oh, it
especially a
doesn't?
good look for Disney. Yeah, I can look it up though.
I don't know for sure because so we got that and we got all the other stuff. And we're on fire right now. We got fat bottom girls that's being yanked because
Yep.
that's offensive to women or something.
I will say this about kids stuff though, because it's like I just remember they like really leaned into like the this black guy had like one of those
Ooh, Tevin, thank you very much. Great to be
Heyo.
here.
Like his outfit was very like stereotypical. Like it leaned into post-slavery. Like it wasn't
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Post-civil, it leans into like maybe the South, like post-Civil War.
Yeah, and so it's like I
Yeah.
would say this. Like I don't care. You don't need to ban it, whatever. But like I don't know if it's what I want my kid first exposed to in this world is like Song of the South. You know what I mean?
I've
like
never seen it, so I don't know anything about it.
yeah, like it's funny because like I'm
I
not.
mean, I've seen that song.
I'm not all
and
about
that.
banning. Like, listen, if that's a moment in time, and back then there was a lot of decisions made where, blackface and all that stuff, whatever. But like, I will say that when it comes to like what I want to expose my children to, that is not it. Like that's not the first exposure I want of like any of that.
Well, they made
Well, and
really
I
bad
think-
choices.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say too, like I think certain things can be taught in school, and then you can learn a lesson of like how language has changed.
Yes.
Or there's so many discussions you can have, but when it's maybe toddler preschool age, it's a little bit more difficult to maybe drive that message of
Totally,
like why
yeah.
this is wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why Disney has pulled the title. It's not like something you could, you can go and read Tom Sawyer and have explanations and discussions, but you need kids to be of an age where they understand
Absolutely.
the difference between right and wrong and how things have changed and how things haven't changed and why we need to improve them. So
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm gonna.
it's all about critical thinking.
I suppose I can't watch Song of the South. Is it even available? I've never seen it.
It is not. It's
not
not
even
for
available
sale.
anymore?
You can sometimes find the title randomly on eBay, but I think even eBay pulls it. if
I
they don't
love the
take
song. I got to be honest with you. Zippity Doo Dah, I think it's a great song. That's a very positive song, isn't it? As far as I remember. My, oh, my, it's a wonderful day.
Yeah, plenty of sunshine coming my way.
See,
Zippity doo dah, zippity dah. Yeah, see?
Nothing wrong with that song, baby.
But
Fat
now it's
Bottom
going to be
Girls.
Princess Tiana. She's going to have her own ride, so
Princess
it'll be updated.
Tiana, Princess Tiana.
Doesn't roll off the tongue.
Really doesn't.
No.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work for me at all. No question
But
about
you'll
it.
still get that big splash at the end. So
You
I've
might-
done that in the middle of California winter, which is very cold to us, and accidentally got sat in the front and had to go and they do this on purpose. You have to go into the gift shop and buy an entire new outfit. 'Cause
Oh,
you're so,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose
Yeah.
that's true.
Nothing worse than being wet and cold and walking around.
In December at like 5 p.m., it is biting cold in California when that sun goes down. And being soaking wet, I was like, all right, I guess I'm getting some sweats and a new sweatshirt. And they loved it. I spent, probably $200 buying a new outfit.
What was the name of the movie where a white man colors his skin black to see what it's like to be a black man?
Oh, there's a few of those.
The original
C.
one.
Thomas Howell was that one? C. Thomas Howell went to try and get
did he?
into Harvard. Was it like?
No,
in the
that's not the
80s?
one. The one I'm thinking of, and the reason I think of this specifically is, let's make a movie where a white guy becomes a black guy, and then he goes into the black community. You know who we should get? Perfect for the role, a white guy becoming a black guy. James Whitmore. What? That's your choice of who should be? Oh, what the hell was the name of that movie again? James Whitmore starred in it. It's from, I believe, like the 50s or 60s, somewhere in there.
I saw Black Like Me.
Black Like Me. That's exactly what it is. There you go. Black
Soul
Like Me.
Man is the movie that I was thinking of.
Soul Man, I
and
remember
came out
that.
in 1986.
Really?
Yes.
Jesus, that's long ago. Well,
It's
I
long
learned
ago,
it.
but it's also shocking that they thought it was okay to have a white man pretend to be black to try and get into Harvard.
Well, wasn't it White Chicks with the Wayans brothers?
Oh,
that
yeah,
that movie
that's
came
right.
out like the late 90s.
Yeah, that was the late 90s, wasn't it?
And they were even considering doing a remake of that movie in the last, probably 2 years.
But that's okay, huh? Okay.
Well,
I just love that.
On a way funnier note, you guys remember when Tyra Banks put on that fat suit and
Yeah.
changed America?
Yeah, I do remember.
What? No. What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're
Now,
talking
was
about.
that on her
TV
talk
show.
show?
Yes. So me and my roommate used to watch her TV show because it was the most unhinged thing ever. We used to just love it.
Why did she put on a fat suit?
She was like, I want to know what it feels like to be an everyday American. So I put on this fat suit and I.
So everyday America's fat as hell?
Oh, yeah. She's a supermodel.
Yeah.
So she's convinced that we're all just fat, can't roll over to itch our own bodies. She's like, I want to be one of
so
you guys.
stupid.
I want to walk in your skin. So I'm going to do it. And she put on this fat suit. And at one point was crying. And we're like, always remember when Tyra Banks put on that fat suit
What
for
a
us.
fraud.
Yeah.
She got into a lot of trouble, even for America's
did.
Next Top Model. They did brown and blackface on her show.
Yeah.
They were having white models sort of, portray someone from Africa, or, it was like a whole setting.
Oh.
And it's
What?
shocking.
The things they say and do in that show, it will change you as a person.
Is it still on?
No, God,
not.
no.
I have no
But
idea.
Gen Z has gotten a hold of the footage and they
Uh-oh.
send that around and they die. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And it's not like anyone's canceling anyone, but it's just so wild what we thought
but
was
she
appropriate.
refuses to apologize for
Oh
it.
no,
She's
she'll
like,
never.
She'll never apologize for it, which I think is weird. And she just goes, well, you do better later on. And that's kind of it. Instead of you know what? I take a look at this footage and I cringe too. This
Yeah.
shouldn't have happened. That type of thing. No, I'm sorry. Nothing. She just is and she's the executive producer on the show. So she had her hand in that cookie jar.
Oh, and then on top of it, you have Janice Dickinson.
Dickinson.
One of America's first supermodels, she'll claim. But she will constantly be calling people fat who are rail skinny on that show.
Really?
Oh, it was It was wild. And you go back and you go, this ain't good. This is not good.
Talk about creating a generation with like eating disorders and body dysmorphia. America's Next Top Model did it.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
So what happened? And didn't Wendy Williams go down that same route, too? Didn't she get in a lot of trouble over some of the things she did on her show?
She just said a lot of opinions that were not diluted. She'd say, oh, yeah, well, here, whatever. She wasn't as bad. She definitely came from radio where she felt like she could say whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
She was huge in New York radio. Huge for a time there.
Really?
And then and I think things started to, there was a lot going on in her personal life. I think she's had some mental health struggles and some physical health struggles that just have contributed to all of that. But the ending of her talk show was sad.
You're telling me there's somebody in radio that's mentally ill?
I knew you were going to say that. I
don't know what you're talking about, Brittany. It just came out just now.
There's two things about Wendy Williams that I am obsessed with. One, she used to have a crown, like a tiara, to her headphones that I was like, someday I'm going to glue a tiara on my headphones.
Oh, God.
And, of course, I've never did that because it's too much.
Gaudy.
It's a little much. But then she said something recently that really struck me. She was, she's going through her mental health stuff, and she said, I would ask for privacy, but we all know I never respected people's privacy, so I understand where you're coming from. And I was like, the self-awareness on that is surprising.
Yeah.
Some growth. I like the growth.
You sure somebody didn't tell her to say that?
They could have, but it's still it's shocking to hear it.
Yeah, it'd be different if she said, I know that I've had my moments of not respecting other people's privacy, but now you need to give me mine. You'd be like, okay, piss off. But I do like the fact that she went, okay, listen, time for me to take down some of my own medicine.
Yeah.
You know?
There's something very likable about Wendy Williams. I mean, she's come out and said some things that you're like, Wendy, come on. But there's still, at the core, at the end of the day, you're just like, I still like something about her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
She hates you. She already told me that.
That's okay. I still like her.
Because me and Kristyn want to get our tiara
I'm not
headphones.
everyone's cup of tea. I get it.
You going to get your tiara headphones going,
Yeah, we're
are
going to
you?
both wear tiara headphones.
Maybe I'll do that, too.
Maybe I should put cat ears on mine.
Good
That'd
idea.
be cute.
I'm going to wear my cat ears tomorrow morning. That's what I'm going to do.
I have mine in the car from the Cat Video
I have pink
Fest.
sparkle ones. They're so cute.
Mine are white and light up, but...
Oh, my God. We'll have cat day. And maybe, how's your foster fail going?
Good. I just bought about $200 worth of stuff to make it seem. I'm gonna tell Justin I got it from the rescue, but to like create the perfect kitty litter situation, and I'm like trying to now integrate the dog. So yesterday that he met the dogs and it was okay. So I decided I'm gonna just completely transform the basement and his little area where he poops to like beautiful, and then just never get him adopted. Even the adopted secondhand hounds reached out to me and they said, he seems a little younger than 2.5 years. That's what the vet guessed. And I was like, he might even be 5. I don't know. He might be a kitten. I'm just trying to like make him seem less like people don't want him.
Yeah, everyone just wants like a 12-week-old kitten.
Yeah.
You can't let him just like sit in a situation like at a foster.
Yeah,
you can let him sit at your foster home for years, but
yeah, for years. That's the game plan.
And like nobody's interested. Sorry.
Oh, he's so just half feral, I think.
The peak of my career, talking about cat ears that light up, and then we're talking about a cat that she's going to steal
Mine are
from
sparkle.
somebody.
They're pink, sequined, and they're so cute. And I got them at the movie Cats, which was the worst movie ever. And it was the last movie I saw before the shutdown, the pandemic shutdown.
Rough.
And I was like, how can I live on this movie at a movie theater? I've gone to the movie theater since, but of course that, for about 2 years, that was my, oh my God, Cats was the last movie I saw.
Oh, God. All right, sister, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
You bet.
Thanks a lot. Kristyn Burtt, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break, be right back. Chris Egert join us right after this. Is time for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention, all power sports enthusiasts. Power sports, I love them. This August, we invite you to celebrate the Power Lodge. With Power Lodge, we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports, of course. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates nearest you. That's not all either. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary Power Lodge, where your adventure with throttle therapy begins.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Schatzko with mnfatloss.com, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, go online to mnfatloss.com.
Tom here for mnfatloss.com. As you may know, I started the program earlier this year for 60 days, then spent several weeks in the maintenance phase, and now I'm back on the program. I've lost 30 pounds, and I feel great. I don't have to exercise. I eat delicious real food, and I'm not hungry. I recommend the program to anyone wanting to lose weight.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 763-312-7600 or schedule online at mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com.
Dr. Adam Schatzko, D.C. Results may vary.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, baby. Tom Barnard Morning Show is back. Yes. Hey, Chris Egert, how you doing today?
What up? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. You're about to start the fair run, aren't you?
You're rootin' tootin' right. In fact, we're going to be out there already today.
What? Why do you have to go today?
Listen, you can't get enough fair. So,
listen. Do you guys have to like get things set up and stuff? Or?
I should reiterate, Megan is going to the fair today, my partner. I am not. I'm going to be sitting in here in the air conditioning, enjoying every moment of it.
You just tried to take credit for that so hardcore.
What now?
Chris is claiming he had to go to the fair today, and it was actually Megan. And
no, our team is there.
No, you said we said we are going to the fair, and then you're like, I'm actually not.
No, I'm. Listen, I'll get plenty of it tomorrow and every day after that.
How about Saturday? You coming Saturday?
I think no.
Oh, God. No support at all.
No support. Do you do both shows from the fair then?
No, just Minnesota Live.
Okay.
And then we stay and shoot some stuff afterwards. So, we're out there a lot. I would like to come out Saturday, but I know you guys have a crowd of people.
Oh, I'd like to be there, but I got to fold socks. God.
That's exactly what I have going on.
I knew it. Sock folding, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. God, last night I was sitting in my living room listening to my wife talking to Josh Arnold on the phone. I think we're going to have to separate those two. They got way too many weird ideas. They're becoming pretty good friends,
investment
I think.
Ideas or just in
I
general
think so.
Ideas?
It's like, why don't we keep Tom out of the mix because he sucks at this? It's one of those deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? But no, it's nice that when the advertisers and then become friends and then friends become friends with your wife. I like that kind of, that's,
You don't mind getting leapfrogged? like
Well,
friendship.
Bilski's been doing it to me now for years.
I know,
Every person he meets, oh, I like them better than you.
Yeah, he definitely leapfrogged. Like I'm friends with Bilski now.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a disaster.
Are you territorial about your friends? Because sometimes I do get a little
No.
territorial.
You ever met my friends? They're not great.
No, I met them all. They're
I
garbage.
met them all. They're horrible people.
They're garbage.
They're completely worthless. It's really nice. What a nice place to be working, ladies and gentlemen. So, Chris, I'm telling you because once again, I did used to watch Fox and CNN and MSNBC and all those things in the morning when I got up, usually starting right around like maybe 5:30 in the morning, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I now just watch you guys because you're on. I get up and watch your show. I watched about 30 seconds of Fox and CNN this morning. I couldn't give a rat's ass what they were talking about. That article that came out in the Wall Street Journal 2 days ago, that national news is indeed trying to make you feel anxious so you'll keep tuning in. So they're doing exactly what you and I have been talking about, or that this show has been talking about for 6 months. They are making you feel worse so you'll count on them to feel better. That is disgusting.
Yeah, I've been reading quite a bit about that lately. I mean, listen, there's certain subjects that are easier to cover, and is it because there's a little bit of a fear factor there? I don't know. I mean, probably. I mean, I think of all the weather stuff that's gone on, and you know, they all kind of goulash that together as it being like the world's burning, it's coming to an end.
Right.
You know, and a lot of that's very highly debatable, and they're connecting things that really don't have an obvious connection other than it just kind of makes it seem scarier if you throw it all together. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, but one of them, I did get an entertaining one because I don't go on social media.
Yeah.
So I had a friend of mine sent me a post. There's a guy that really does believe, and he goes on and on about this. I don't know if it's Facebook or Twitter or what the hell it is. X, I don't know. Like I said, I don't go on social media. But this guy is insisting that the Maui fires were started by Oprah Winfrey so that she could then buy up all the land. Because she's got a house there, apparently.
Oh, yeah. She's got a very big presence there. But, you know, I have been, that seems a little far-flung.
Just a little.
I will say I have been reading quite a bit about, there's a lot of worry on Maui about people coming from outside of the island buying up property because the people of Maui are so financially devastated right now, you know, who's still there and left can even come up with the capital to be able to, you know, buy some of those properties. And so, I mean, but I think I know there's been a lot of talk about it, and I think the leadership is really sort of taking a good look at that, you know, Maui leadership there and going, listen, we're not going to let this happen.
Right.
We don't want a bunch of outside, you know. I was also hearing that she brought up the Maui thing, talking about, did you guys know this? The biggest population center of Hawaiians outside of Hawaii is Las Vegas.
No.
What?
Yeah.
No, I did not know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I heard this the other day, and they were interviewing a young lady who had moved from the islands to Las Vegas because it's so expensive you know how expensive it is out there.
Oh, yeah.
People who live on the islands are being priced out of their own homes. And so, you know, they're moving to the mainland, and I guess for whatever reason, there's a lot of people who are moving to Vegas. I thought that was interesting, super weird, but
I feel like that's happening. It was another one. LA is acquiring a bunch of people to Vegas, including Marky Mark.
Marky
Mark moved to Vegas?
Yep. Yeah, he did. Indeed, he did. You know, it is kind of interesting because apparently this guy posts pictures and all that stuff, and I did check, and it doesn't look like he's altered the pictures. There is a burn line on a curve that butts right up against the real expensive property, but it never crossed over the expensive property line. And I suppose they do have things in place to keep it from doing that.
Yeah, did they do a pre-burn? Because I know there are some places that will go out and pre-burn some places so that the fire can't jump over the pre-burn.
Correct.
But yeah.
Maybe that's what it's all about. But yeah.
It helps to have money, doesn't it, to be able to afford to have somebody come out and do something like that? Because I know there was a few people that in California that they had privately had paid people to come out and burn areas around their house so that the fire wouldn't jump. And yeah, it's awful. Oh, terrible.
Indeed.
I saw a story the other day that showed this house that was right there on the beach in Lahaina, and like everything around it was destroyed except for this house. And they talked to the owners of it, and in this case, they had done some pretty significant remodeling over the last several years, which included like putting on a different kind of roof and siding and whatnot. So the house was better equipped to be able to handle the fire. But that's crazy. You should look that up. Like you look it up and they just show like a shot of the whole beach. There's nothing there except for this one house. And it almost looks like there wasn't even a fire there, which is crazy.
You know, I'm just happy that President Biden's 67 Corvette and cat are safe.
I heard that yesterday.
What, is he nuts?
Yeah, well, the context I heard it was he was trying to talk to the people of Hawaii about the fire.
Yep.
He was trying to relate to them that there had been a fire at one of his homes.
Which is not true, by the way. There was a little thing.
Yeah, and that he watched the fire crews fighting the fire, which also, it sounds like he was doing Meet the Press or something at the time, and he wasn't even home.
Right.
So, and I guess the story I heard yesterday was comparing his comments about his Corvette or whatever, his car burning up.
Right.
And they were comparing it to when President Trump at the time went to Puerto Rico after they'd been hit by storms, and he took all kinds of crap because he was, you remember he was like throwing things of paper towels at the people out in the crowd. And so the story I saw was like comparing and contrasting those. And like, they're like, Trump got like crucified at the time when that happened and for being so insensitive. And I think the implication in the story I heard last night was that the mainstream media will not even come close to being critical of President Biden for the things that he said out there when he was supposedly meeting with them.
But Chris, why does the news media do that? That makes no sense to me. Look, I am not, you can have both of them as far as I'm concerned. At this point, I highly doubt that I would vote for either one of them, but I suppose if they're the only two running, I have to vote for somebody, right?
I mean, you could vote for a third-party candidate and have it impact, the big picture impact in an unintended way.
These guys both do things that just piss me off to no end, and they both do things like that.
I think Trump being, and I do think there's something to it. It's not my opinion, but I don't know. I don't work for one of the networks. That there's this big, vast conspiracy that the media is not going to say anything negative about, Biden. I don't really buy into that. I do think there's something there, though, and particularly with Trump, because he's such a vocal opponent of the fake news and the news media in general.
Right.
And I think it's kind of like a little bit of the attitude, like, oh, well, you want to, is that how you want it to be? Okay, well then, and then maybe they come at him harder just because of his position on the other side of it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but I will tell you, I'm in a position in my life right now that I look back, and if my cousin, Lamont Dean, saw the Republican Party now, and my mother saw the Democratic Party, they'd both be embarrassed as hell. They're nothing like the parties they set out to be. I mean, there's nothing conservative about Republicans, and there's nothing liberal about Democrats. They're the least liberal people on earth now. They're very judgmental, both of them. It's disgusting. Let's get back to the original
party. I think we've talked about it too, is that the extremes seem to be the ones who are getting, you know, the most coverage.
Yeah.
But when it really comes down to it, most Americans are pretty much down the center on a lot of this stuff.
Pretty much.
And
I am.
And given the choices that you have, though, what do you do?
Well, we took care of that yesterday with Edwin Edwards pointing out, I'm going to get elected unless I get caught in bed with a dead live boy or a dead girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, live boy or a dead girl. God dang. I laughed about that all day.
I know. I kept thinking about it too and be like, it's so bad it's good.
Wow.
He said other things, honest to God, because people kept calling me about it. So I better look up. He said some things that were much worse than that. It's like, Jesus. You know, he went to prison for like 8 years.
Did he really?
Yeah, Edwin Edwards ended up in prison. I believe he did like 7 or 8 years. What a shock that a politician had to go to prison for scamming people. Who ever heard of it?
The South is a really, and those kinds of personalities are the ones that really seem to do well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even talking about like, you know, governors or mayors or senators. I'm talking about like sheriffs. I've covered a lot of sheriffs when I lived down there, and the old boy sheriff kind of, you know, that you think of.
Yeah.
Always got a saying for something. Always, you know, those are the guys who do very well in the South.
They do. Yep.
It's a much different culture up here for people not really gravitating towards people like that. Just, you know, particularly in Minnesota and, you know, a lot of the Midwest.
Yeah. In Minnesota, if you don't give
people right here, right?
If Minnesota, if you are known for not giving someone's Tupperware back, you're dead to us. So if you're not doing those, you know what I mean? Like if you're skipping around, not doing those social norms, you're like, you can't be a scammer for very long in Minnesota without someone being like, yeah, he doesn't cut his grass. What? Like, we're pretty particular.
Well, we're 50-50 here. I think that half the people in the state of Minnesota are the nicest people I ever met, and the other half are not my kind of people. That's just a fact. You know, talking behind someone's back and trying to ruin their life, not to their face, but because that's one thing I will tell you about the East Coast and the South. If they're going to bring you down, they're going to look you right at you. They come right at you. They don't sneak up behind you like some of the people do in this state. Now, again, half the people in the state are wonderful, very nice people. So I'm not saying that's why I still live here. You know, I'm not a fan of that stabbing people in the back thing. I'd rather stab you in the front.
There's such a cultural difference living in the South. There's no doubt about that.
And the East Coast.
And the weather, like we've had today, this is every day in Orlando.
Do you feel at home, Chris?
Like living in Orlando 3/4 of the year. It's horrid.
Do you feel very at home right now?
Oh, God. Listen, when we were leaving Orlando, I loved it. It was super fun. Pre-kids, like what a fun time in our lives. But then we had the kids, and then you start like looking at things differently. And I remember we had like a 2-year-old. My wife was like 8.5 months pregnant, and we were out pushing the baby around the lake once. And this is right before we were getting ready to leave. 99 degrees outside, 99% humidity. And I was like, God, I can't wait to leave this place. It's just so freaking hot. This is awful.
Hey, man, things sure change too. Like the minute you have a kid, all of a sudden, because I can lay outside and feel fine. But if I'm like yesterday, I was in the shade with her and her little like splash pad. And I was like, is this something? Like one of my neighbors, Brian, who's lovely, was like, hey, make sure you guys don't spend too much time out here. And I was like, am I endangering her? Like all of a sudden you're like, like you're checking their heart rate and you're like, I don't even know what to do. So you just go inside and sit.
Yeah, I know. So that does end by the end of the day today, or it starts to get better tomorrow, a lot better. So for what it's worth.
So 88, you guys have kind of made me obsessed with Edwin Edwards, and I wanted to see what he actually went to prison for.
Yes.
It's not that shocking after you hear that quote, but he goes, Mr. Edwards was released from a federal prison in Oakdale, Louisiana, after serving more than 8 years for a 10-year sentence for bribery and extortion. He had been found guilty of rigging Louisiana's riverboat casino licensing process during his last term in office. And
Wasn't he governor like 4 times?
Yeah,
wasn't this the plot of Ozark?
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Edwin Edwards invented it all.
And 6 months later, he married for the 3rd time, and in the fall, he rode in an open convertible through cheering crowds waving Edwards for governor signs as an election day barbecue.
Not a shock.
As you know, they sent me to prison for life, he told them, but I came back with a wife.
Life and wife. So it all works out in the end.
This guy's kind of hilarious.
Is Dougie on the phone right now?
Yeah, he's on.
Doug, Chris Egert on with you two guys ever met? Doug Sprinthal and Chris Egert?
Oh yeah.
I thought so.
We were in the podcast together when I thought I was going to interview him, and he showed up with a cameraman to interview you. Remember that?
Oh, that's
right. It was the weirdest day. It was cool.
That's right. That's when one of his co-workers over at Channel 5. And some people think he's racist. I still will never forget that.
But no matter how many positive things were said, Tom still walks away with that one little
Yeah, you know
comment.
somebody else in the state that has to take that shit? No.
No,
you do
and
not.
I do agree. If somebody said that people might think Brittany is racist, that might stick with me for a while.
What are you, nuts? No one else in the state puts up with that crap but me.
Oh.
So I enjoy it now. I have parties over it. And he's this, and he's that, and he's this. And they have no proof of any of it, of course. But the folks that are supposed to be so liberal will just buy anything as long as you say it. You'd think a liberal would look at both sides, wouldn't they?
Remember you called me a socialist or a communist last
You
night?
are a communist. Commie. Doug Sprinthal with us, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Egert. You two should schmooze for the last couple of minutes because Chris has got to go in like 2 minutes. So, Doug, any questions for Mr. Egert?
You caught me flat-footed. I never get flat-footed. As a salesman, I'm supposed to think on my feet.
I haven't found a car yet,
Hey, Chris,
Doug.
that's my next question.
Yeah. We had talked about that with the teenage driver, and Doug has very high. You have high expectations about the quality of car that that you think I should purchase.
Yes.
And I want to buy one for $1,000. So we're not.
It's possible, but it's hard, especially if you don't know much about mechanics. So there are some buys from time to time on Craigslist, which is. Here's the reason that dealers don't sell $2,000 and $3,000 cars. For one, there's not a lot of money to be made on them, but it's almost always guaranteed brain damage because you sell them as is, and people go all the way up, and then $1,000 or $2,000 cars. It's not if they're going to break down; it's when. And then they always come back and then you knew that it's like, no, we didn't. We didn't know it was the head gasket was going to blow. It's not worth the brain damage.
What happened, Catherine? The head gasket blew. What? I don't even know what the hell that is.
Fault. He sabotaged the car while it was in the detail area.
That checks out.
It's all true.
On a related note, I was talking to a customer last night. They were buying a late model Ford Explorer from us, and I was talking about the extended warranty, and they're like, "You guys, that's such a ripoff, and all you guys is making money on it." And I said, "Well, let me give you the facts on extended service contracts. Yes, we're a business, and yes, there's profit involved, but over 90% of the premiums that we take in on these extended service contracts get paid out. So there's a little bit of money to be made, but 90% of it goes back to customers because their tires break. It's they're still machines, and they have to operate when it's 110 degrees out or 40 below zero, and then we get mad when they break. It's like, I think they're actually pretty cool. I'm surprised they don't break more.
Right. There are a lot of extremes here. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, this place is hard on cars. It really is.
Every winter, one of our piece of junk cars, some kind of plastic part breaks off of it in those 30 degree below zero days, and I'll be out trying to open my wife's car door and something snaps off. That's the best.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling.
And then kunk. All right, Chris has got to go and do his job as a newsman.
Tomorrow I'll be coming to you on the phone as I'm frantically scampering over to our building. So
the state.
Oh, that'll be fun to see.
It's going to be like a quick state fair report for you every day. So that's what's going to be happening.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. And, of course, on the line, Doug Sprinthal live, the new GM from Flagship Ford in Baldwin, Wisconsin, home of the new EV Ford Mustang. I own one. I love it more. And, Dougie, I'm not kidding you. FlagshipFord.com. That's FlagshipFord.com online. Dougie, I love my car more every day, and it's your fault.
I know. I think they're fabulous too, and we've sold quite a few of them since I've been here. I've been buying some used ones from Ford, 1- and 2-year-old ones, and they seem to be really popular. Not everybody has podcast DJ money, you know.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the big dough.
I stole that from your mom. Did you get that?
Yes, I did. Where are we going to get DJ money? My mother used to say that about every. Hey, Mom, do we have any bread? Where are we going to get bread money? Well, say it's bread, Mom. We need that. She would always respond with that.
At some point.
Yes, we need to eat at some point, sister. We know that.
Hey, I got to ask you a question. Are you doing the state fair this year?
Saturday at 10 a.m. You going to be there?
Probably not. I'll be here in Baldwin, Wisconsin, selling Fords.
Well, take some time off and come by and hop up on us. We're going to have a couple of people on. Tevin already ducked out that pill. He should be here any minute, and I can go after him.
Now that he's a DJ, he probably stays up too late.
Big shot. That's what it is. No, it's going to be interesting to appear at the fair. I have not appeared at the fair in years now.
Well, you and I did it with a family podcast, I think about 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember, I might have been longer than that because I think Dan set it up, your son-in-law. And we're kind of sitting on the grass under a tent, and it was so fun to watch people walk by, and then all of a sudden it was like they saw Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. Their heads would snap around. Tommy Barnard right there. Great. Look at him. That's him right there, and he's talking into a microphone. I thought it was pretty,
That's what I do, but,
Do you remember the farmer?
I love
the old guy from
We
Wisconsin?
got potatoes, we got beets, we got everything you need.
That guy? I love that.
Then I had my hand ripped off in the PTO, you know.
He started. It was like Woody from Cheers talking about his relatives. I'm like, oh my God, this guy, this is just wonderful. I wanted to hug him.
It was fantastic. You got beets, you got potatoes. Yeah, he was magnificent. You know what? We still have that audio somewhere. It's around.
Oh, you got to dig that up. That definitely needs to be best of. I mean, if anybody's thinking about a career in podcasting, listen to that, and you'll just do something else.
That was fun doing that podcast out at the fair. That was 7, 8 years ago. You're right. That was a long time. It might have been 10 years ago.
Time flies when you're not paying attention.
And I never pay attention. Why would I?
Yeah.
I know.
You know
it's all recorded. You can look it up when you're old and listen to all your old episodes.
I want a piece of bread. I still love that line from Where's Papa? Remember they go, Gus and Grace's Home for the Elderly?
Yeah.
I love that. Well, how's everything going? I want a piece of bread. This guy's about 110 years old. What the hell? All right, Dougie, what else you got, Pally?
Well, let's talk cars for a little bit.
I love it.
We were talking about used electric Mustangs. I've got 2 of them in stock right now. I also bought, and I just wanted to try it out, I bought a Ford Lightning, which is their all-electric version of the F-150. It's a cool truck. It's taken some rips, I think justifiably because the towing range on them isn't very good.
Mm-hmm.
But as driving them as a regular truck, I mean, it's unbelievable. This thing has got 7,000 miles on it. Original window sticker was $92,000. It's got everything in the world on it. Practically drives itself. And we're selling it for in the low 70s, so it's about $20,000 under what you'd pay for a brand new one. You can see all this stuff online at flagshipford.com.
Let me ask you a question about that, and I'm not trying to, stab anybody in the back here, but the tax situation between Wisconsin and Minnesota probably differs a little bit, so you probably got better deals there anyway, don't you?
Well, but you pay tax on the state where you title the car. So,
that's true.
yours,
Yeah,
we titled it for you in Minnesota. So, yeah, that would be – otherwise everybody would be buying cars in what states with no income tax or state tax? Like Florida doesn't have sales tax, do they?
They have sales tax. They don't have any income tax.
Oh, that's what it is. So you'd have to find. But anyway, you can't do that. They've figured out a way to keep you from cheating. Good idea, though.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a hell of a thought if you just. But yeah, Minnesota has cut off every angle of. Oh, you're trying to save money? You won't be doing that, pal.
Yeah, I can tell you, the Wisconsin residents pay a hell of a lot less in license fees than we do over in Minnesota.
Yeah, we do.
You know,
That's
a
why I
brand
brought
new
it up.
$50,000 car. I think the first-year license plates are probably in the fives. In Wisconsin, it's a flat $85. Doesn't matter how old the car is or how much it costs. So,
my favorite of all time is when Jesse Ventura became governor of the state of Minnesota. All plates are $100. Yeah, it's because he had a $150,000 car.
No, he had. You're really close. What he did, he had an old Porsche. It was a really cool Carrera, but it was 10 years old, and he was pissed off. So he graduated the plate fees. So as soon as they hit 10 years, it was only $35.
To save
I loved
himself
him for that.
money.
He was awesome.
Oh God, Jesse, more me now. That's all I have to say.
It's all your fault. If you hadn't got him in the governorship, we wouldn't have had Arnold Schwarzenegger. We wouldn't have had Sarah Palin. We wouldn't have had drop dots all the way to today.
It was my fault.
Because of you. Yep, you and Passolt screwing around on the radio.
That's basically true. And it
ruined politics in America.
You know, to this day, Jesse doesn't talk to me because he wanted me to host his inaugural party when he was elected governor. And I said I'd do it. And then Hamilton said, you aren't doing that. There's no way.
You know, I've heard you tell that story before, but why would Dave Hamilton be against you speaking at Jesse's inaugural ball?
Because I was taking a political side, I guess, which I wasn't. Because I support Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, and he was your buddy. But, I mean, you guys were pretty political back then anyway. I thought that was kind of the point.
I know. I just never I think it had something to do with more me now. That's what I think was really.
Oh, I get it. The spotlight should be on me at all times.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, man.
I get it.
All right, pal. So everything else good?
Everything's good. Have a great day. Stay cool. Drink a lot of water, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm sorry I blew up.
Don't tell me to drink water.
Don't tell me to drink water. All right, Dougie, we will talk to you tomorrow, Pally.
Bye, Doug.
Over now.
Thanks a lot, Doug Sprinthal, ladies and gentlemen. I love this. Our longtime friend of the Tom Barnard Show, Doug Sprinthal.
Associate at best.
Associate at best. Flagship Ford in Baldwin, Wisconsin. Online, it's flagshipford.com. That's flagshipford.com. Look, I was not trying to screw the state of Minnesota out of any money, but if you go over to Wisconsin and you buy a car there, I understand you have to license it here, but couldn't you, you get a little break, don't you?
I mean, I think you're literally describing fraud. But
it's not fraud. I don't mean to do it under. I'm talking about just being wide open about the whole thing.
Yeah,
no
fraud.
Know. No, I mean, but I think you're describing. Like, I don't know what crimes are, but like, I'm assuming that's like some
it's not
sort
a
of
crime. That's not what I meant at all.
I know you're not trying to say. I agree.
Like, I said I hate you.
Yeah. If the fireworks and spotted cow weren't enough to get you to come to Wisconsin, we'll also knock the tax off your car. Come on by.
What do you think of that action? Take that home with you. And you can buy fireworks, as Rudy just pointed out.
Right.
You should be able to buy fireworks and save money on your purchase.
I'm with you.
And
4 more years.
4 more years.
There you go. Minnesota's getting a little carried away with having the highest taxes in America.
Don't love that.
What the hell are you Why do we have the highest taxes in America? Makes no sense. Right?
I'm sitting here going, I have no idea. Like, I know there's something special about Minnesota. We come here and it's clean, it's beautiful. But, like, I feel like we're at a good point with taxes, right? Can we just, like, calm down?
14%? Yeah, that's pretty good. We'll say for a state tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Minnesota. I do. I absolutely love Minnesota. It's the trips you go up to Duluth or you go to... Like I said, I've lived in Grand Forks. I lived in Fargo, lived in Minnesota both times when I was working in those because they're right on the border.
Yes, sir.
We love going down to, Barn Bluff down. And, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's just some of the people here are just not very nice.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Where did that come from? Is that a Viking thing or something?
I don't know. I think there's something about the weather, too, right? We really close into our houses and disappear because... it seems like in the summer people are willing to like hang out and they have like neutral places, but like in the winter, people do not want to invite you to their house.
Yeah, that winter thing can be a bitch. There's no doubt about it.
I think you just hunker down and just mentally become a
No, that's
block.
probably true. That's probably true. Hunkering down is probably a good way to put it. Just like, I don't want to go out. Just leave me alone. You can't come in, and I don't want to go out.
Yeah, like our house cannot
Yeah, I
handle
understand
another
that.
person in it. We are all locked inside here. We cannot open the windows. Good day.
It's all, and by the way, across, this is not just a Minnesota thing, it's across the United States right now. The people who claim to be the most caring and forgiving are the most judgmental pricks I have ever seen.
I think you always have to keep that in mind. The vocalizing.
Why, though?
But anytime you vocalize weird stuff like that, I think it seems like it must be an obsession in your brain.
You know who's not a prick? Judd Zulgad, and we will get to him after we go to break.
No, he's a total prick. I'm
He's
not
panicking
bringing him
because he
on.
wants us to go to break before 9.
What do you mean it's not in my brain? What's in my brain?
What?
You said something's in my brain. What's
I said
in
there's
my
an obsession in the brain when people are vocalizing things, not you.
No, I just am sick to death of it. They claim to be something that they absolutely are not.
Yeah.
Great. Can we talk about that after the break? So we
No,
really got to get into
this
break.
is my show now. I'll do any goddamn thing I want.
I know,
Buster.
I'm scared about the law.
You hear me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, whatever. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at hubbardinteractive.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back now. Look at that, 9 o'clock, right on the nose. We made it.
Professionals.
Now somebody can pull their head out of their ass and calm down over at the head office. What do you think? Yeah, Tevin comes in, starts feeding back right away. Typical.
Yeah, that's on me.
What the hell's the matter?
The volume was a little high in these headphones.
Just I wonder, so who would that have been?
I don't know. Who wore them less?
I do not remember. Ladies and gentlemen, join us at Carousel Park in front of the grandstand this Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. We'll be joined by legendary broadcaster Don Shelby, along with Brittany, and maybe a few other surprise guests, but not Tevin, of course, because he's a massive pain in the ass. It's the fair, so you never know who will drop by, except for Tevin, who's a pain in the ass. That's this Saturday, August 26th at 10 a.m., Carousel Park in front of the grandstand. We'll see you there on Saturday.
Okay, and just to defend myself, I thought...
Nope.
I thought that
You're
this
out
was
of
an
it.
afternoon thing. I can't. Brittany didn't tell me it was at 10 a.m. I can make it at 10 a.m. I just have something to do now.
You're
at
the worst
12:30.
person.
Oh my,
people
okay,
back.
look
You've
at
never
him
called anybody
smile.
again.
Look at him. First off, we said the time
I wasn't-
last week.
In my defense, I was not listening. I was just waiting for my turn to talk.
We
Like,
talked
use
about
your radio
this.
people. That's exactly right.
And so you said I have a wedding, and I was like, well, that's weird. Well, maybe he's out of town for his wedding because I was like, it's 10 a.m., but whatever.
That's right. Well, I was not aware of the time. I just have I have a hard out
like-
at 12:30. So
but
as
like,
long as we're before then,
Tom,
11 o'clock.
I just-
Yeah.
okay,
exactly.
you
So
know
I will
what?
be there.
You're a disaster.
No, I want for the court. I would like
For
to
the
just talk.
court.
I just want to say, as I wrote on Monday, I wrote, you come into the fair Saturday with us? And he goes, no, I looked at September 26th, not August 26th.
Yep.
I have a wedding this weekend. I go, bummer, but understandable. Like,
Yep.
I'm trying to be nice. And
You put bummer.
Yeah,
You spelled that out.
So
I just assumed
keep in
it was
mind,
in the
he
afternoon.
didn't even ask the time. So what am I supposed to then go, well, it's 10 a.m., like shoot that out? Like, as if he literally knew the time last week, had it put it in his calendar.
It's still all worked out because your boy is going to be there. So that everybody can.
I just want to go on the record that I feel like I would have been an asshole to been like, it's 10, like, I assume that he.
Yeah, but I feel like our relationship, I would have expected you to be an asshole in that. Like, just,
All right, so I have to be more motherly. Oh, I have to do there's another male in my life that I have to like hand feed things to.
Is that too much to ask?
No.
Okay.
Add it to the list.
No, that was my bad. I didn't get all the information. And, but now we're here.
It's a weird assumption that a morning show would be at like.
I don't know. Like, because it's like a hassle to get to the state fair in the morning. Like, maybe you go in the afternoon. I don't know.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I just personally never go to the state fair in the morning, and so I just assumed it was at night since the world revolves around me.
Don't worry about it. The world doesn't revolve around you. And by the way, Judd, I have to ask you a question. You've heard this conversation.
Yes.
And I got to be honest with you. I think Brittany's leaning on a little racist, just being so judgmental about a black man.
I can actually confirm that because the first words she said to me this morning, not hello, how's it going? She goes, oh, look at that, and looks at her watch like right on time. They're not going to be 3 weeks in a row late. Like, just assumes that I was going to be late because of the color of my skin.
Yeah, do you want me to go back on text? You want to know how many texts I have in a row of I'm going to be late today?
Why are you bringing up old stuff?
Yeah, she did look at me and say PCT, right? I was like, yeah, PCT. Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are the worst people. I come here every day for this.
It's CPT, by the way, not PCT.
I didn't want to say it the other way because I know what that means.
I do too.
Yeah, I don't want to say it that way, so that's why. Yeah, do you guys know what that means, Brittany? You're looking. Okay.
Oh
good.
no, I
Okay,
know what
all
it
right,
means.
There we go.
Why don't we play the dozens right now? Come on.
I'm not
Judd,
getting
what do you
involved.
think? You're not getting involved in the Judd, you want to play the dozens?
What is the dozen?
Oh, you don't want to know. You don't want to play the
I
dozens.
don't want to know.
Yeah,
Then I don't want
Judd,
to play.
I'm looking out for you. Just say no.
I enjoy my employment.
Yes.
They used to play it a lot in my old neighborhood, and it was funny. Because if you were good at it, two things happened. You made 99% of the people laugh, and you made the 1% guy want to beat the piss out of you. It was that funny.
I like to avoid that 1%.
Yes, I understand it completely. Now, Judd Zulgad with us, ladies and gentlemen. Even the Star Tribune now points out that Baldelli makes some really bad decisions with his bullpen.
Well, last night they've got a kid who's pitching well. Now, he has pitched a lot more innings than he ordinarily does, but he's at 78 pitches. And they take him out and put in this Dylan Floro, who they got from the Marlins, who then, proceeds to get hammered. And the Twins lose a game that they could have won to the Brewers. And, post game, what frustrated me was Baldelli, he was sort of went along with, we want to keep his pitch count down. But he said the pitch count, in my opinion, at that point, doesn't even matter because what I want to do is we had decided by that inning that we were going to go to Floro. It just continues a complete lack of feeling, in my opinion, for the game flow. That's the biggest thing I've got a problem with. They don't do a lot of things that use common sense. They do a lot of things they think make sense. There's nothing worse, in my opinion, in sports than hubris, right?
No, I agree.
Like people that think they know what they're doing. It's like, actually, you don't know, and you should probably ask other people. But yeah, and the thing that I did like is Bailey Ober, the pitcher that got taken out, was pissed off. His post-game comments, he was pissed.
Good.
He said, I was about to go out there for the next inning, and I was told, hold up, we're bringing someone else in. And then he said something along the lines of, they're going to do what they're going to do. And so he was ticked off, which I actually love. Good for him. He should be ticked off.
I don't. That's the one thing about Baldelli. I just don't know if he's the guy. And again, they just won a bunch of games and they won 2 out of 3. And blah. I just don't like the way he handles that pitching staff.
I agree completely. The problem, though, Tom, is it comes from above him too. Well, these people are. That's the crazy thing. It's a conspiracy. These people are all on the same page. I mean, one of the reasons why Mallrats got shown the door a year after being the AL Manager of the Year is because, you know, he's a Hall of Fame player who had his own ideas and didn't want to like give in to what these guys thought should be done. And so they basically went and got what they considered to be a puppet. So I'm with you on Baldelli. Like I'm not a big fan as far as his style or what he does. But if you clean him out, my fear is they're just going to bring in another yes man who agrees with their lineups and agrees. Like there's so many things that these guys, that Falvey and that whole crew have their hands in that I think would astound people, because the manager now is just a small piece of the puzzle. And so like if you could, the question is this: do you get a manager who can manage the team or another guy with stipulations about what he can or can't do? Because if you do that, it's just going to be the same process repeating itself.
It's true. It is true. I just, you know, but they keep making the same mistakes at the same time in so many games. It's unbelievable.
And the problem too is like last night, it's against a pretty good team. Yeah. Like I think you can get away with a lot of crap against Pittsburgh and probably skate and win 2 or 3. The Philadelphia series win in Philadelphia was impressive because they're good and we're actually hammering the baseball when the Twins came to town. But my thing with last night is this: if you're going to break that 18-game playoff losing streak, you got to be smart. like playoff games are won, as sports fans like to say now, between the margins. Like it's little things. It's what Tom Kelly was so masterful at. You know, Tom was such a masterful handler of a baseball game because he had a feeling and a complete understanding for every moment of that game. The Twins have no one like that right now.
Right.
So how do you win a playoff game? You know, you're playing Seattle, which is playing great right now. It's a 1-run game. One mistake, one screw up of any sort, you probably lose that game. So that's my question. Like you can win, you can beat the Pittsburghs, and heck, they could come back and win today. But when you're talking about winning a playoff game where everything is magnified times 10, do you have somebody who can make the right decision and not do something foolish? And my fear is the Twins don't.
It seems like it. I watched a bit of the game last night. I couldn't watch the whole thing because we had a million things to do, but I tuned in just as they were getting hammered. I got back to it just as they were getting hammered.
That's so you.
It's so Judd knows. Every time I tune in, they start getting their ass kicked. I don't know. What is that?
A sign that you shouldn't tune in.
Yeah, it's my fault. That's
it's
exactly
a sign from
right.
God. It's a sign from above that perhaps you have suffered enough, and it. We should all take our 2 World Series titles for those of us who recall them and go home. I don't know.
Yeah, well, possibly. Why, when I tune in, do they do this to me?
I'm surprised I didn't get a text from you last night. I'm a little disappointed. You didn't send me a text laden with words that aren't appropriate for most shows.
You've gotten a few messages like that from me at baseball games, and you know.
I've sent a few too.
Yes, you have.
I think it was a month ago I said, I hate this effing team.
Yes.
Sort of stand by that last night.
Well, I got to be honest with you. Why do we hate this team? Because we love the damn team so much. I love that team.
I hate this effing team.
Yeah,
and we'd like them not to lose another playoff game. We'd like that playoff skid not to go to 20, which it has a very good chance of doing.
Yeah. Because
they're going to make the playoffs, and that's the best 2 or 3. And if they get swept out, they will have a 20-game losing streak in the playoffs. Tevin's like, that's not possible.
It's just so astounding because, like in basketball, where they play, you know, best of 7, it's like even the worst team will mess around and win 1 game in the series. Like for you to go 18 straight game, like it just blows my mind. And it's like I almost want them just to get to 20, just to have a nice round number.
Seriously, it's almost impossible to lose 18 straight games.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
In baseball, it is impossible, right?
Yeah, you think.
Because like basketball at least has, like, if one team is superior, a sweep is not a surprise. Mm-hmm. But like hockey and baseball playoffs are pretty damn random. Like it depends on the starting pitcher. Weird things happen. And so, 18 consecutive playoff losses in baseball is I would say damn near impossible to do.
Almost impossible. I would agree.
Yeah, unbeatable streaks. It's like Cal Ripken's start streak and then the Twins losing 18 in a row.
Yeah, there you go. It is true. Now, how about the Vikings? Anything new on the Viking front?
Oh, come on, Judd. Give us some good news.
I'm out here right now. As you can see behind me, I'm out here
there
because they have moved their joint practice with the Cardinals up from I think it was going to be 11:45. They're going to start at 10:45, hoping to beat this oppressive heat, which they're not going to do. I walked out my door this morning and started sweating instantaneously.
Yeah.
But these will be the final. So these will be the final 2 practices of training camp, and then they're going to play the game in which they'll just play all backups on Saturday. So the roster cut down, which now goes from 90 to 53 in the same day.
Whoa.
It used to be gradual. Now they're just like, screw it, we're going to do it all in one day.
Right.
The roster cut down is next Tuesday, and so they'll have some decisions to make after. These joint practices will probably be as important as the game itself on Saturday. But, yeah, we'll see. I think you're going to see Jaron Hall, who's the 5th-round draft pick quarterback. I think you're going to see him start the game and play most of the game on Saturday. Kirk will not play, and I'm guessing that the backup, Nick Mullins, who's played in the first 2 games, won't play. So you'll get a long look at a quarterback who at least O'Connell likes. I don't know if he's going to make the team. My guess is he does, but it's going to be a project.
I got to have, they won a lot of games last year and then did absolutely nothing from that point on.
Yeah, shocking how a Minnesota team got in the playoffs and completely let us down.
How did that ever happen?
I don't know how it happened. I mean, the hockey team, the basketball team, the baseball team, they never pull that garbage.
This has to be one of the worst states on earth, and I do mean on earth, to follow sports teams.
Yeah, it's not great. And I was watching some, I think it was ESPN yesterday, and they were talking about the Cowboys, how it's been 28 years since they've won anything, and this is the worst drought ever. And I'm like, you guys come take a visit to Minnesota where we don't win anything in any sport ever. And, you guys are complaining about 30 years. It's been forever since
it's only been 1991. I mean, it's not that long.
Tevin and Brittany have, I would guess, zero memory of any sports success by the men, by the men's teams.
I hear these myths of 4 straight or 4 Super Bowl appearances for the Vikings. There was this time long ago where the Twins won something. I have the links. Otherwise, I have just a bunch of tears cried over the Vikings.
Tevin looks at footage of it every day along with the landing on the moon and going, this was fake. This is all fake.
It has to be.
Moon landing was
just
fake.
Actors. Yeah,
those Super Bowls were those were played in the desert. I know
it. Look at the gravity doesn't make any sense on this. The shadows.
There's no wind at the stadium. It's indoors. But Judd, you're obviously out there at practice. And are you out there pretty much every day, I would assume, watching the Vikings?
During training camp.
What's the the vibe out there? Does it feel like we're going to be good? Obviously, you have Jordan Addison, who's been shining. Pace on defense has been a nice surprise. What should we expect from the Vikings?
I think the defense is going to be better than people think because this switch from Ed Donatel, who was just a dumpster fire as a coordinator, to Brian Flores. Ed Donatel was awful, Tom. He was it was just a terrible hire. So I think the defense is going to be improved, but by improved, if they can be ranked 18th, that's a huge improvement.
Yep.
Offensively, I'm curious, but I will say this: when you have Justin Jefferson, it makes such a difference. This kid out here, he's incredible. We have been blessed. The one thing for sports in this town, especially obviously the Vikings, we have been blessed with receivers from Moss to Jefferson. I'm not a big fan of his personally, but Chris Carter was really, really good. But man, have we seen some guys that can play. And Justin Jefferson's up there. He is a phenomenal talent. So hopefully they're going to score some more points consistently, because the problem was, Kirk got a lot of credit for those 8 fourth quarter comebacks, but you don't want to have to come back 8 times in the fourth quarter.
Right.
That's not really a positive. It's why can't you score more points consistently? But the division, as far as I'm concerned, wide open. And I'm not buying I'm not sure about you guys. I'm not buying the Detroit Lions until I actually see it.
Correct. Yeah, they've been bad long enough. Where you have to until I see them actually do something. I'm not just going to pencil them in as the winners of the division. The same like now Jordan Love's been getting a lot of steam in Green Bay about how great he looks. It's like once the regular season starts, that's when I'll become a believer. But until then, I think it's the Vikings.
They won the NFL championship in 1954.
Bobby Lane was fun to drink with.
Exactly.
Or so I heard.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Judd, do you have to be out at 30 today?
30, yes, sir.
I just want to make sure that's true. No, you got a job to do.
It's Mackie. He's traveling. He's yanking my schedule around.
Traveling? Where the hell's he going now?
Podcast convention in Denver.
Oh, why?
What?
Anything to meet. That is the generation that we are in now. Anything to meet, they will do.
I would
Meetings
not.
are the bane of my existence, FYI. And I say that working for a company that I think loves to meet.
Like, Tom has told me I need to improve every aspect of my life and has never told me I have to go to a podcast convencane.
Well, that has nothing to do with your talent. That's your entire life I'm talking about.
And also, you don't want me out there representing the brand. So, like, that's how you've never...
That might be right. Let me think about that.
Yeah, right? Like, you'd be like, tell them you're with some other show. Yeah.
We do have to take that break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. This is Tom Barnard for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention, all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, and Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris, ATVs, and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you, and that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary Power Lodge, where your adventure with throttle therapy begins. I'm here with Ben Williams, former defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Ben, you were in peak health playing football when you went into kidney failure and needed a transplant. An organ donor saved your life. What do you want people to know?
That's right, Tom. I found out my life was going to have two paths. Either hooked up to a dialysis machine 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for the rest of my life, or receive a kidney transplant. I actually started to lose hope. When I was about to start dialysis, I received a call. My perfect match for a kidney was available. A stranger checked the donor box on their driver's license and saved my life. I actually felt 18 again. Now I want to pay it forward by encouraging others to register. I learned from LifeSource that men register at rates much lower than women. We need more men to check the box at the DMV. When you pass away, that small decision and act can help someone like me.
There are 2,300 people in Minnesota like Ben right now waiting for a life-saving transplant. Make your game plan to be a hero. To learn more, visit lifesource.org.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98, now only $19.98 and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen-size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM.
You're on air, gentlemen.
I don't care.
I was telling
stating
Tevin.
Facts.
I was shaming Tevin, and not you.
Why don't you pipe down, sister?
Oh, you guys want to fight me physically? I'll do it.
I'm not scared to hit a woman.
Oh my God, that's what I've heard. And
You've actually literally lead every conversation we have with that. That's always the first thing you say before we start any interaction.
Jesus, why do I have to be here? I should get my own studio.
Tom, we're death gripping your coattails. That's why you have
Death
to be
gripping.
here.
We're death gripping, damn it. All right, Judd's only got you only got about 6 minutes left with us. We got to turn it over to you, Pally.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I think this brawl is far more entertaining, and you're here, Tom, to referee. That's why. Like, somebody has to get between them.
Right. It's like one of those celebrity, like, cage match like that they used to do back in the day, the boxing matches.
I am not getting involved in a conversation where a black man just told a white woman he might punch her.
Okay, I'll walk it back. You know, we'll release a statement after the show. Like, I'm sorry, I apologize.
By the way,
PR team, Tevin.
By the way, Tevin might be the last person I know that would hit anybody.
Me and him have actually almost had physical fights. But like wrestling match, like I've jumped out.
He goes, no, you are a horrible person.
Because I feel like you and I, we used to like try to scare each other at the studio all the time, like do like silly things. But like also, I have so many aggressive texts that are jokes between you and I that if we ever wanted to ruin each other, we could.
Probably. Yeah. Probably. Yeah, that is true.
What the hell you two got going? Wait a minute.
We just never take, neither of us ever take anything seriously.
No.
So it's like.
You mean like working?
And I feel like her and I are both the type of people where if we do something that minorly inconveniences somebody, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, and then it's like, we'll respond with don't let it happen again.
You're
or this
dead
will be
to
the
me.
last.
I'll kill
right.
you.
This will be the last time you ever see your family.
Unbelievable.
I'll take you down. You'll never make it in this city, this town.
All right, Judd. Now you got 5 minutes.
Anyway, Judd, tell us something about the Vikings.
Judd, it's wild that you're there.
Tom, you are a saint, FYI.
It's true. I sit here every day.
You should be credited more for your patience,
Oh, shut
your
up,
nurturing, putting up with this.
That's putting up with it.
So, Judd, we're kind of getting bad service when you're up Tom's ass right now.
You're breaking.
Oh my God!
You know what? On this show, if I had to rank who would hit first, it's Brittany 1, 2, 3.
There's no question.
Thank you.
There's no doubt about it.
I got a lot of anger
Rudy,
in me.
I can't tell for sure. Tevin, I'm fairly certain wouldn't. I don't know that Tom would. He'd probably be the second or third on the list. Brittany's 1, 2, and 3 though.
Now, since I'm a tiny guy, I break people down emotionally, not physically. Mm-hmm.
With words, you get them with the words.
Yeah.
I have this
nice shirt
issue in my brain that I honestly I get that I have the mentality that I think I could honestly take you all in a fight. Maybe not at the same time, but individually. And
at the same 4 against 1, she could take us all.
Move the mics out of the way.
I don't know what is wrong with my brain, but I've never thought in my mind I've been proven wrong many times, but I have this idea that I could take either of you three in a fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were in the Army. You're like, you have that I'm a tough guy type of attitude, probably. So
if not, at least I'd get one good hit in before we
right. Like I might lose this fight, but I'm going down swinging.
Yep. So.
Tevin, grab that thing. There's got to be booze in that.
In her cup. Yeah,
in her cup.
Smell her cup.
There's got to be booze. I'll kick all your asses.
You don't tell me how to live.
9:30 in the morning.
Barnard.
Oh my God. You're drunk.
Thanks.
Thanks. You're drunk. Thanks.
Drunk on power.
I'm drunk on power. Anyway, Judd's now got 3 minutes left after
3
your
minutes
latest
left.
rant.
3 minutes left. Now, I gave all the sports hot takes. Baldelli screwed up. The Twins lost a game that they probably shouldn't have lost. The Vikings might be good. We don't know yet. It's training camp.
We don't know.
What more could you possibly want? Although I did see this. I believe the number was 3 Lynx fans were ejected from the arena last night.
I heard this.
For being so verbally abusive of Dallas players, and one in particular who got hurt. And they had to escort him out of the arena. And they were like, one was like 1 row behind the Lynx bench. So everything she said could be heard loud and clear. What's happened? What's happening to us?
At a Lynx game. What are you so fired up at a Lynx game for? Like they usually just win championships. Like you got to heckle everybody, especially hurt players too. That's like, okay, what are we doing? I don't care how drunk you are.
Yeah.
Like somebody's hurt.
Yeah.
Like calm down.
But what should like if Lynx fans are being that abusive to opponents? What should Wolves fans do? Forget the opponents, Tevin, to their own team.
They need to heckle the hell out of Karl Anthony Towns, and also Anthony Edwards. They need to be grateful, and we need to hope he never leaves because he is absolutely dominating overseas. It's like the FIBA basketball,
the World Cup
World
basketball.
Cup.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable so far, and I think it officially starts tomorrow. But he's played in a bunch of the exhibition games. He's easily been their best player.
And he had I'm assuming you saw the dunk where he got it in the middle of the key and just no dribble went up and yammed it on somebody, and it was incredible.
He's taken that next step because he looks like a superstar now.
Yeah.
And he's always been good, but I don't think he's ever looked like this before. So yeah, if this progresses, you are correct. And yes, Kat is going to have to take a back seat to Ant and just be like, okay, dude, whatever you need me to do, I'll do for you. But you're the star of this team.
Yeah. And it looks like he has the attitude where he now knows and understands like how great he is. And it looks like it's slowed down for him. And so I think that, you said, Kat's going to have to take a back seat because it's the Anthony Edwards show and we're all along for the ride.
All right, guys.
Hell of a show today. I'm just telling you. I'm very impressed with your abilities. He just laughs. He's like, okay, I believe you're being serious now.
Yeah. All I did was come on the show and call you a saint, okay?
That's all you did, man. Saint Thomas once again.
Brittany's very disgusted by me right now. And
Brittany's
I'm gonna
mentally ill.
I don't want her to come out here and beat the snot out of me, and I am afraid that she could beat me up.
I mean, I think you could take me, but I'd get one good hit in
I
before
don't know.
I'd go
I don't know if I could take you, Brittany. I'm 53. A lot of things are sore, including my arms. A lot of times
things are sore.
I'm not sure I could take you, but anyway, you all have a great day, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Bye, Judd.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, now she loves Judd.
That'd be nice after he said I'm the most aggressive person on the show.
Yeah. You took that as a compliment?
No, I said I thought it would be nice to him after you said that. Like, I'll soften up a little.
Oh, you mean soften up a little?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. That's a good thing because you've been threatening to beat people up for about 10 minutes now.
Thank you.
Thank you. What are you going to do? Just looking at what's going on in the world right now. I'm looking at the Wall Street Journal, and they had some great stuff on there, but now they're talking about a Ukraine reset. I don't know if I even want to get involved on that one. A slow and bloody advance on... Is that war ever going to end, do you think?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, wasn't it just because it's now been a year? Because I saw it was a couple of the buildings downtown the other day were lit up blue and yellow for the Ukraine, like marking the 1 year anniversary or something like that, I believe.
Right. Yeah, it is the 1 year anniversary. Right about that. Also, we got we're starting to head into that big political season. No question. That GOP debate is tonight. I doubt that they're going to have any DFL. It's not the DFL outside of Minnesota. But being a Minnesotan, I still refer to the Democratic Party as the DFL.
Sure.
Because that's what they've always been to me.
Yeah, of course.
They always say it's not the Democratic Party, it's the DFL.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that's
weird.
what you grew up with. No, that's normal.
It is what we grew up with, but I doubt they're going to have any debates because they got the one guy running for president, and unless you got an opponent, you're not going to have much of a debate now, are you?
Yeah, right?
Do you think anybody in that party will try to run against him?
We should just put like an AI bot there, like one of those help, like just
Right.
have Jimmy John's help bot just talk to him.
I don't know. You could put a Roomba in there and it'd probably have a pretty lively debate with Biden.
Yeah, they need to find somebody to run against, just to but we need to sharpen it up a little bit, Biden.
Yeah, it's pretty much the top two guys. And look, if either one of them gets elected president, I'll live through it. I don't have this deal, oh my God, it's the worst thing that ever happened. No, it's not. Calm down.
Right. It's the worst thing that ever happened until the next election. We have a new worst thing that's ever happened.
Exactly. Do you think, in particular, the United States, and maybe even Minnesota right now, it's just got, the politics is just way over the top as you calm down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, maybe it's just because I've stopped paying attention as much as I once did, but I feel like it's calmed down a little bit.
I hope so. I hope it has.
Like I said, I don't really pay attention, but I feel like in the past, especially during the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic when everything was so politically charged and nobody had anything better to do than sit and watch CNN or Fox News all day.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, now I think it's
you're
calmed
right.
down a little bit. People are starting to get over it.
I hope you're right about that. That would be terrific because let's focus on maybe enjoying life instead of criticizing everything and hating everything.
Yes.
That'd be good, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Although, has anybody seen The Sound? What is the name of the movie? The Sound of...
Sound of Freedom?
Sound of
Sound
Freedom.
Music.
There. Have you guys seen it yet?
Oh, our listeners have told us to watch it 1,000,000 times over, but I don't think I can.
It's not out yet.
Yeah, it is.
It's in the theater still.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get it streaming yet. It's doing really well in the theaters.
Yeah, that's the one about child traffickers.
Maybe I don't want to watch that.
And like
Man,
everyone who sees it has told me it's amazing. You got to watch
That's what
it.
I hear.
I don't know if I can watch that.
I know.
Obviously, like, child trafficking is the worst. There's a hot take, but like, it's like I can't watch it. Like, that's
compared to what, Tevin? Compared to what?
Compared to what?
Did you ever hit that spot in your knee that really hurts?
Have you ever hit your shin on like a razor scooter? The worst.
God.
But no, or like the hotel chain. I think it's like Hilton that's being sued because down in, I believe it was Texas, they had a bunch of their hotels or like tunnels and stuff going into each room that were used for like child trafficking to abduct.
What?
Yeah. There's like it's
Really? I
Hilton.
haven't even heard of this.
Yeah, look it up. It's Hilton, and I believe it's another one that's being sued for child trafficking.
Oh my
abduction.
God.
Yeah.
So why is that not on the front page?
Oh, because I mean Hilton's huge and probably has enough money to make it.
They got some
not
money.
as big
Was
of a
this
story.
Paris's fault?
I cannot
Paris
confirm nor
Hilton.
deny that. That was Paris Hilton.
What do you got? She's
National
looking it up?
hotel chains Hilton, Wyndham. Am I saying that wrong? Wyndham.
That sounds right. Yeah.
And Choice named in Texas lawsuit for promoting sex trafficking.
Really?
Three national hotels are sued for promoting sex trafficking. The 3 sex trafficking victims this month sued major hotels, parallel lawsuits by advocates who say the companies exercised gross negligence about
Really?
on-site prostitution at Houston branches despite corporate policies that promote social responsibility. I don't know if there's tunnels, but they're saying that they've turned a blind eye.
Okay. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe there's not tunnels, but yeah, I've heard some
Maybe
crazy
it's
stories coming
like a
out of
loose-
Look at
that
some
whole
people
thing,
make
yeah.
stuff up too.
Right.
Yeah,
You
that's
never
true.
know.
But they are getting sued though.
Yep.
Why is this not in the news anywhere? You had to look that
guys,
up, right?
And
I can't read this much of this. It's so bad.
yeah.
One
And-
victim said that they were a 15-year-old high school student, was drugged at a party. A pimp took the girl to a Comfort Inn and sold to John's for more than 3 weeks. The girl is now 17. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Good. I hope they sue the piss out of them.
Yeah.
If they tolerated this, if it's really true that they knew it was happening, they should be burned to the ground.
And because it's not like a lot of the pimps that I guess would work out of like the Hilton or something like that. Like it's very obvious as a hotel worker, you would think to see.
Absolutely.
Like, I remember
well, just the feather in their hat alone.
Well, it's funny. It's funny that you say that. When I was in high school, we went to what was it? There's like Bandana Square or something over in St. Paul.
Yep.
So our high school basketball team, we went on like a team building trip. We just came practice down at the U of M, like just hung out at this hotel, whatever. What great time. And I remember we're walking to the pool and this pimp with like the classic like cane jacket, like feather in the hat. He comes over and he's like, I got some girls for you. And our coach comes down. He's like, hey, like leave these kids alone. Like they don't hide it when they're at the hotels. No.
Isn't that just amazing? Remember that in every movie back in the 90s, or not the 90s, but the 60s and 70s? Every pimp had a huge hat with a feather.
Oh, my God. There's a movie called I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Yeah, and
one of them. Yep.
Tommy Davidson is walking down the street as a pimp. He's got goldfish in his shoes.
Yes.
Are they dead?
You know who we got that from, though?
No, they're not dead.
They eventually die. In the movie, they do end up going belly up. But at the
How do you
time, they are
feed them?
swimming in his shoes, yes.
I mean,
Yeah, that's real, by the way.
Yeah.
They actually did have shoes that had fish in them, and that football player was a defensive back. Remember the one that always wore a cape? And finally the coach said, you can't wear the cape out on the field anymore. But he had a cape and shoes with fish in them.
Wow.
What the hell? It started with an F.
Excuse me, I got to feed my fish quick.
Right.
Let me just take my shoe off, undo it. Like, what?
Yeah, honestly. Well, if that honest guy's going on, it needs to be. Why isn't the press covering this?
I don't know.
And a lot of times, because it does deal with like prostitution, like a lot of those like sex crimes don't get publicized in the media because it's a lot of like essentially victim blaming, saying, well, it's the sex worker was choice to do this XYZ, and so we don't talk about it.
Oh, I think it might have had something to do with drugs and guns.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause that shows you right there. People writing these stories have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
No.
They have no clue.
Yeah, I have a 15-year-old. She has no interest in wanting to hang out with men over the age of 25.
There you go.
Why? Yeah.
But she thinks I'm cool. Let's just say that. She thinks
doesn't
I'm
think
cool.
you're cool.
She thinks I'm cool because.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What'd you tell her that for?
No, she doesn't. It's actually the bane of my existence. Every time I'm around Kinley, I was like, Kinley, you see this cool shirt I got? She's like, it's okay. I'm like, oh.
It's okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that. She's dressing you down.
I know.
Works
Yeah.
for me. No, that does amaze me. That a story that huge, I had no idea because I look at the press every day.
I'd never seen anything on that at all. I wonder when this
Yeah,
article is from. I got out of it.
I believe the first time they got sued was like back in like 2018, from what I saw.
Really?
And then, yeah. Now it's starting to pick up a little
Never
bit
heard
more
of it.
steam. Yeah.
Is that Hilton with 2 L's? Thank you very much. Great to be here.
This article is from 2020.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We're almost 4 years later, and most of us in this room have never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Sex trafficking, they knew of, and nobody cares.
I mean, the thing, I'm sure they do a bajillion, and maybe they buckle down, but like, you talk to hotel workers, and they know what's going on. I mean, you know what I mean?
Oh, I agree with you.
And they know who's in what room and what's happening. I mean, you can pretend, like, they know that even on, like, the small scale, you say you've got 3 people and you actually have 4. They know.
Mm-hmm.
They know when somebody comes in like Rudy and steals their coffee.
Right.
Like they know.
They know sometimes. they're not too keen on the continental breakfast at a Best Western. I'm just saying.
They know. I mean, they know. I've talked to people who work at hotels. They know. They know all the things, and so yeah, maybe it's just one of those things where, like, you have these underage workers, or not underage, but like younger workers. Mm-hmm. And they just kind of stay out of it because in their mind it's blurred lines, but it's not.
Right.
Well, it just does amaze me. How do you run a news organization and you don't report a very important story like that?
It makes me so sad.
Our news is worthless now. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they want to cover it up, they just cover it up. That's disgusting.
It's
That's all I'm saying.
disgusting.
Now let's go to a positive thing here
Thank
as
you.
we move away. National Cheap Flight Day. Is it really the best day to buy plane tickets? Apparently today is National Cheap Flight Day. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
I didn't know that either.
No, they just make stuff up and give you $20 off your flight, and so that way everybody goes and buys more plane tickets.
Might be right. It could be. If you've been waiting to buy plane tickets for the holidays, it's National Cheap Flight Day today. Supposedly the best day to buy. Some people say it's just a lot of hype. Which are you going with? Hype? Real?
The calendar I have in front of me has National Cheap Flight, Free Coffee, and Back Rub Day as well. So it's going to be a great day today.
I didn't pay for this coffee. I've had 0 back rubs and 0 cheap flights. So 1 out of 3 ain't bad. And I'm not asking for back rubs. I know it sounded like I was.
First she like threatens to beat us up, and now she wants us to give her a back rub.
Yeah, what the hell?
Everything's just about Brittany.
You make up your mind, sister.
Do we have an HR? Like, do I have to just go there next? Like, what is happening?
Okay, it's been a thing since 2015. A site called Cheapo Air, I guess, says that according to their data, holiday plane tickets tend to hit rock bottom today. It's not totally baseless, by the way. Prices usually do drop in June, keep going down through most of August, so now is a good time to buy for a lot of us. But experts say there isn't really one best day. Cheap flight day is just based on the overall average, and it really does depend on when and where you're flying. Well, yes. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to cheap flight day to New York, that ain't going to happen. No. So don't worry about it. But that's kind of cool to know that it's cheap flight day today. If you want to buy a ticket, maybe you can save $50 or something.
Yeah, it is cheap right now because I'm booking all of my travel for the rest of the year, and I got a one-way flight from Seattle. I believe I'm going to be there the last weekend of October. I think I come back on that Monday, the 30th, I think it is, or 29th. $73.
Jesus.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that's not Spirit Airlines. That's Delta. $73.
Dang.
Is it a light plane?
Yeah.
I love though your face. Like, is it a light plane?
Well, it's him and the pilot. That's it.
That's all it is. It's one of those makeshift helicopters you see in Zimbabwe.
Is it a light plane?
Well, honest to God, $70.
Yeah.
It sounded like like not the voice, but like the question sounded like Harry Carey-esque. Like, oh,
was it a light plane?
Does it get to 30,000 feet?
Does
or
it,
do you fly
will it
at
get
12?
does it get above the clouds?
for $75?
My favorite Harry of all
killed
time is still when Harry used to call in and Gelfand would go after him. Oh, God, it was fun.
Bernard, control your monkeys.
Bernard, control your monkeys. It was phenomenal.
I'd be honored. Oh, that's funny.
Sometimes when you're on the show, you kind of wish that if you had the chance, and he would just wander off mentally.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, it was the greatest of. Like, I miss Harry so much, I can't even tell you. What a star that man was.
Yeah, it sounds like a cross between like Harry Carey and Bill Walton. Like, have you ever
Bill Walton?
Have you ever talked to him or seen any of his interviews?
A long time ago, yeah.
He's like the same way where like he used to do basketball games and he'd see like a layup and be like, that layup reminds me of this time. He's like, I could smell the colors of the rainbow, and he'd just go off on this tangent about like the 70s and how great a time it was, and people just let him go because they're like, yeah, he's Bill Walton.
God bless
you can't
him.
rate him in.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. We should probably take a break here. We got a special guest coming up in just about 5 minutes.
They may have just canceled.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah, like 2 seconds ago. So I'll let you guys know here as soon as we go to break.
Oh, so we don't know if he did or not?
We don't know yet. I'm going to find out.
Well, if they did, we don't need them. But if they didn't, we'd love to have them.
Sure.
Jason Mewes, ladies and gentlemen, promoting Jay and Silent Bob present Cruise Askew. What if I don't want to talk to him?
May have gotten that wish.
Is it a light plane?
You wish in one hand and piss in the other. All right, we'll take a break and come back and find out what the hell we have in our lives next. Right after this, I'm so happy to welcome back our longtime friends, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable, and I am telling you 100% truth about that. We always use Sabre. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because they're service experts. They're experienced NATE certified technicians. They're not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need when they need it, and at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you. Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Yeah, baby. Tom Barnard here. Hey, Tevin, now that you are coming to the state fair with us, what's your go-to state fair food?
Ooh, go-to state fair food. I don't know that I have a go-to. Like, obviously, like Pronto Pups.
Are you
good.
like, and do you go corn dog or the Pronto Puff? Because that one's different, right?
I go like the straight Pronto Pup. You got to get the Sweet Martha's cookies, obviously, just because it's chocolate chip cookies. But
hot take.
They're not that great.
They're
it's
not
just
that
a chocolate
great.
chip. It's just a chocolate chip cookie.
It's not even the best chocolate chip cookie you've ever had.
No, but you get a bucket full of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it makes up for it. Whatever's at the Blue Barn is always great. Like last year I think it was the like chicken and waffles on a stick or something, or in a cone. That was really good. But yeah, just all of it. I just walk around and whatever calls my name out from across the room or across the street, I wander over like a zombie and get.
Even if we're there at 10 a.m., you're going to still eat that kind of food?
Guys, I will be there at 10 a.m. and I will eat anything. If we're on the show and somebody drops some food off, I'm eating it. Like, I do not care. I'm there to gain 30 pounds and get rolled out in a wheelbarrow.
Well, that's good news.
Oh, yeah. Like, I've been fasting all week just to get ready for the fair.
Well, you just found out you were going like 2 minutes ago.
I'm just going.
He's going anyway.
Whether it was with you or not.
No.
I just boycotted the whole fair because I couldn't go to the morning show.
If I can't go with Brittany, I'm not coming.
Nope.
That is how I assume people act when I'm not attending things.
Also, so the most terrified I've ever been at the state fair, there was one year, I believe it was Jamie Lissow. I was working at the House of Comedy. We did actually the morning show.
He did the morning show there.
Yep. And he'd never been to the state fair. So yeah, let's go. We go into the butterfly exhibit.
Oh God.
I hate insects.
Yeah, why would you go in there?
And, well, he wanted to go in, and so I was like, oh yeah, like now I'm trying to be like all manly. I'm not scared of some butterflies. One landed on the back of my neck, and I almost had a meltdown amongst all these little kids who were just like playing with butterflies. Oh my gosh.
So, first off, so relatable. You are in a safe space.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Because my nephew and my sister Lindsay and her son Finn, he really wanted to go in there. He said, I really want to go in the butterfly house so bad. And I was like, you're on your own. I don't want anything landing on me. They go in there, and you know how you can talk to them through, there's like the chicken wire that they whatever.
Yep.
My sister starts freaking out, and she goes, they're mostly moths. They're mostly moths. And I guess like 50% of them are moths, not butterflies. So they're just these giant things land, and she's like freaking out. My sister's also not liking that they're landing. Finn's looking at him on his finger, like having a lovely experience. And my sister to this day talks about the House of Moths.
Oh, yeah, and I like, because your instinct, like when something lands on you, is like, get it off. And so one lands on me, and I'm having a whole freak out, like knock it off, and people are just staring at me like I murdered a butterfly. And I'm like,
you did.
I need to get out of here immediately.
That would not be my jam. I would not do well in that environment.
Go forward with your butterfly talk here.
Would you ever go into just a room full of butterflies? Would that?
I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me. I don't care at all.
You're far more centered of a person.
Yes, there's no question. I'm a much better person than you. I just like to say that, and therefore, no, they got those exhibits all you can walk through, and those are outdoors though. So I don't know about indoors. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, I think you look at those people, and it is a 50-50. Some of them look like they're in heaven walking around butterflies, and some look like they're on the verge of a panic attack.
Mm-hmm. Jason's with us? Excellent. Jason Mewes, ladies and gentlemen, talking about Jay and Silent Bob present Cruise Askew, Miami to Nassau, February 23rd through the 26th, 2024. Jason, how have you been?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Magnificent now that you're here, Pally.
Thank you.
Oh my God!
Love it.
Also on board will be a View Askew Universe regulars: Brian O'Halloran, Mark. Well, you got everybody. Everybody's going with you.
It is. It's going to be awesome. I mean, we have Jeff. So Dante and Randall, Brian O'Halloran, Jeff Anderson, Ethan Suplee, Jason Lee, and then Kevin's doing all the podcasts. So, Babylon, Mark Bernard, Ralph Garman, Education +1. We're doing a poker tournament. We're doing a 90s prom. We're doing a disco, meet and greets. I'm excited about it. I've never been on a cruise, and I feel like this is the way to go. Because, again, I think being on a boat going to Miami to Bahamas is exciting and fun as it is, and you get to do some swimming and be on a boat, but you add all these other elements, live music, Soul Asylum. There's going to be a movies pop-up. No one knows what that is. Kevin had to come up with Clerks 2. The boys had to work. Dante Randall had to work at a restaurant. You couldn't use, the regular restaurant. So Kevin came up with his own called Movies. And we're going to have a movies pop-up where you can get tater tots and chicken sandwich and burgers and all that. And I don't know. I'm excited about the whole thing. We're going to be reading the Clerks 3 unreleased script. So Clerks 3 came out recently. Kevin had written a totally different script, and then COVID happened. And as COVID was going on, he wrote a new script, and that's the movie you guys have seen if you've seen Clerks 3. So we're going to be reading it with the cast on the boat. So, I mean, again, tons of stuff. I'm going to be doing my stand-up, Jason Mewes and his amusing stories, A.J. Wilkerson, another comedian, Jake Rubel. So it'll be live music, stand-up comedy, podcasts, disco, prom, poker tournaments, all that good stuff.
No, Jason, have you ever been on a cruise before?
No.
Never
and
before.
Again, that's just what. Never been on a cruise. Never got to go on a boat. I've been on a boat fishing.
Yeah, there you go.
I grew up in New Jersey, where everyone was fishermen and clammers and all that. So I've definitely been on a boat before, but never a big, huge ship for more than like a couple hours. So I'm excited about it because I've thought about going on cruises, but I was like, if I go on a cruise, are you going to sit around and go swimming, which is fun, but this is the way to go, I think, having, all these different things going on for the 3 days you're on the boat. That's it. It'll be tons of things to do.
Yeah,
so.
they kind of have these niche cruises nowadays where, like, your favorite rock band or
like
your favorite
Weezer,
comedian. Or, they do it with, like, WWE wrestling. AEW does it all the time.
Yeah.
And this is cool because you get to go for 3 days, immerse yourself with the people that you grew up with. Like, I grew up with Clerks. I grew up with Dogma. I grew up with all of those things.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, you have all the guys that created these masterpieces in my mind, and then on top of it, you're doing stand-up, you're doing you could be sitting at a table with Jay and Silent Bob and being like, I raise you 500. You know what I mean? Like,
But think
what a
about
experience.
Rudy, too, on top of it, so you have the entertainers that are going to be amazing, but all the other people attending this cruise are going to be, you're going to be BFFing so hard.
Yeah, there was somebody who had asked me to go on like a rock and roll cruise one time with one of my favorite bands, and I said, no, because the people that party, they party too much. This feels like you can do that. Like, everybody on this cruise is going to be done by 11:30. We're all going to go back to our cabins. We're going to get some sleep. I couldn't do an all-nighter on a cruise. I don't like water on top of it, but I think like this is the perfect setting. So, yeah, when you guys made the announcement, I thought, what a great, celebration of everything that has come out of that Askew universe.
No, definitely. And again, I agree with you. I feel like it's more going to be about hanging out and watching comedy and playing poker, and reading, watching the cast read the script and different things like that, not just staying out, all night partying and waking up hungover and throwing up and stuff. So I think it'll be a little, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be, I'm really excited about the whole experience. Because again, I did not only experience going on a cruise, but to do it with my best friend and a bunch of other my friends. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So
there you have it. By the way, for tickets and info, all you have to do is go to jsilentbobcruiseaskew.com. That's jsilentbobcruiseaskew.com. I'm telling you, you're going to love this, Jason. I'm not kidding you. It's going on a cruise. My wife and I have gone cruises down the Mississippi River from Minneapolis down to St. Louis. Love that. We've been to cruises, basically the cruise you're doing, Miami to Nassau. You're going to have a ball. You're just going to have a great time, and the crew does a great job keeping everybody. You know, you don't want to get too hammered.
No. Real quick before you go, Jason, do you have any fond memories of shooting Mallrats here in the Twin Cities?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, 100%, man. Mallrats is my favorite movie that I've ever done because, again, I was 19 years old. It was my first studio movie, and it was the first time I was ever in Minnesota, and I got to, stay in a hotel, which, again, doesn't sound very exciting, but for me it was, going from this small town in Jersey to now in Minnesota, staying in a hotel for 3 months and filming in a mall every day. For me, it was, we were busy filming a lot. But all I ever wanted to do is oh my gosh, I have to go to Mall of America. And sure. It was exciting for me because I'm like, there's the biggest mall in the world here. This is crazy. So again, just hanging out with everybody in the hotel after we were done filming every night, and then getting a bunch of people from the movie to make a trip over to Mall of America. We also went into town and went to Princess Club. I don't remember the name of it, but I know that that was a big deal. I mean, it was such a great time for me to be out there and filming the movie. Because again, Clerks, remember, it was just a bunch of friends, and Kevin's like, "Hey, I wrote this movie and I wrote a part for you based on you and your sense of humor." And I was like, "Sure, whatever, dude." And I had to work every day. I was roofing and putting roofs on houses, so I'd work all day, and then at night we'd film Clerks, and then I'd wake up and roof all day. And then after it was done, Kevin disappeared because he had to go edit it and then go to all these film festivals, try to sell it. And I just didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden he comes back. He's like, "Miramax bought the movie and we're going to do 3 more." And I was like, awesome. But it still didn't hit me. I worked roofing and delivering pizza all the way up to Dogma.
Wow.
So, it's been a surreal thing 30 years later. And we're still doing, I do my stand-up. We do Jay and Silent Bob Get Old podcast, Kevin and I. We have our comic book store, Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in New Jersey. Still 25 years it's been open. And I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/JAYMEWES. I go live and I do Q&As. I play video games and stuff. So if anyone wants to check me out on Twitch, I'm on every day almost. So, man, it's been surreal 30 years, man. I got to tell you.
It's a wonderful thing. Well, thank you for your time this morning, sir. Appreciate it. Jay and Silent Bob present Cruise Askew, Miami to Nassau, February 23rd through the 26th, 2024. For tickets and info, just go to jsilentbobcruiseaskew.com. That's jsilentbobcruiseaskew.com. Jason, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, guys. You have a great day.
You too. Bye. That's going to do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.